Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Realms of Awakened Essence Season 6. Season 7, Episode 6. A Healing Touch Part 2. I am your GM for today's game, P.A. Kenny USA, aka RT Studios. And let's bring in our cast for this amazing adventure. Go ahead, guys.
Hey. Hi.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
Shanice, this isn't what I planned on. I planned on sleeping.
And do we want to go around the table and kind of introduce who we're playing?
Sure. I'm playing Dr. Vess, kobold medical expert. Expert is in quotes, in case you didn't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Ow!
Hello, who just joined?
It's him.
Oh, it is our lovely Mag. We are doing character introductions. You sound drained.
I just woke up.
Alright, well, I can introduce you you on your behalf if you want.
Go ahead.
Alright, so we have our lovely Leilana and our Mugi and forget who else do you play? Lady Mary? No, not Lady Mary.
No,
sorry.
that's me.
Yes, sorry. We have Mugi and Leilana, and I think Darby, and a couple other characters that are kind of like side characters for our dear Mag, who is currently waking up. So, who else do we have on the ship? Yes.
I guess I'll introduce myself. I'm the literal traveling circus of characters. Hello. I control way too many. Hey, most people call me Gearbox, but I control Oldwin, Al, like Stark Matter, Crystal, and some others that may show up, but may not show up.
Also, don't
Welcome
forget
to
Mage
the
Hand.
Funhouse. And also Mage Hand. Oh, God. Okay,
Yeah.
who's next?
Calm down. I
Yeah.
guess I'm last.
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, I am Trisha Welsh. Generally I play Aya Jokin, the wonderful tiefling sorceress. I play Lady Mary, who currently is 90 years old and is quietly sleeping in her chair. And I will be playing a major villain.
Yes, which our characters will be reintroduced to in just a few moments. So without further ado, is everyone ready? Any last minute questions, comments, concerns? Also, guys, please roll your essence pool before we begin.
Oh, is it everybody rolls their own essence pools?
No, it is a joint, combined thing. So, like, you know, like how in that other game that we... Yep.
Yeah, so
Sorry, I had to disappear. I'm back.
You're fine.
Is that 2 D10?
D10, and then the D100.
Oh, right, okay.
Yep.
D10 and then the D100.
And then you take the D100, you put it in front, and then you take the D10, and that's your second number. Once you guys are done that, let me know, and I will...
Wait,
I
do we
had a
all
major
roll?
accident last night.
you
I'm
don't need to
still
roll.
recovering from
Whoever wants to let the team know what the essence points are, that's up to them.
What happened to you
rolling
now?
this?
I can roll, I guess.
All right.
Okay.
I suffered a major injury last night. I'm still recovering from it.
Oh, what
Damn.
happened?
What
I
happened?
turned around in my room last night and didn't realize how close I was to the outer facing corner of my room and smashed all 4 of my fingers against the wall.
Ooh, are you
My
okay?
ring finger and my pinky finger took the damage, but the ring finger last night took the brunt of it, and now my pinky finger is the one that's suffering.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Are you able to play, or...
I'm able to play just fine. It's just
Okay.
I'm going to be suffering from finger pains.
Ouch.
It
Okay.
hurts. It hurts a lot. Believe me, I've been in
Yeah.
that particular situation.
It's hurting
not
me
gonna
just
get
like
better for
Oh,
a few,
well,
few days.
I mean, if we're talking about pain, I feel your pain, Meg, because back in the day when I was naive and a kid, I was taking groceries out of the car, and we had one of those hatchback, glass kind of like CRV doors. I closed the door and then was about to like close the back to close up the car and stuff like that after I had all the groceries in my hand, and the top goes like down like a glass kind of like hatch, and it wasn't closing properly, so I slammed it, not realizing my other hand was there trying to hold the door closed because it's slightly broken, and I crushed my fingers
Ow.
Ooh.
in the glass. And the thing is, I was slamming the glass down, so like,
Mm.
yeah.
Ow, 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 ow.
I have a bad
ow.
tendency of hurting myself without
Okay.
noticing.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you. And can we not
Well, enough
talk
about
about that?
the pain that we've endured. Let's wait for our characters to endure the pain that they're about to encounter, and we'll be right
No.
back after the opening intro. Stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back
Howdy, howdy.
to our adventure where we last left off. I believe some people were making their way to the archives or the
Who was making their way to the archives?
yeah.
We never established that.
We were planning on it. I think we were about
Okay.
to do that. So when we got
Because
interrupted.
the door to this facility is being punched in slowly, remember the time dilation, by a giant fist.
That can't be good.
And we are going to start off in a tense situation as the door flies off its hinges. And this is a blast door, by the way, so
Older one's like, whoo! Older ducks as it narrowly hits him.
it goes like spiraling over your head, crashing
Yeah.
through the glass of the containment area where the remember the lab is.
Yeah.
So it smashes through the glass door, and you hear alarms going off and stuff like that, as well as the the intrusion alarm. And
Dark Matter just goes.
quarantine breach. Quarantine breach. You just
Dark
hear
Matter's
like,
like, hey, we were using that door.
and we are now entering combat.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh Lord. Oh, okay. Is this him?
That is him. Yep. See,
Is it the man himself?
The
Yep.
man himself, or
No,
rather,
not
the
him.
lich himself. Let's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The Lich
Yep.
of the Hour.
Yeah, the lich of the hour.
yep.
He prefers to identify as undead.
All right. I will be the better person here and allow the lovely players go first.
Are you controlling the man?
I have to. I'm the one with the book.
Oh no. They have
She's the one that created Acerak.
No, I did not create Acerak. The lovely people from
I know I know of the character, but not
Yes.
much.
Acerak was lovingly created by these lovely people from this book. I did not create Ace Oracle, though.
Oh,
Is he one of
I
like, the
thought you
pre-made
did create him. Okay, never
Oh,
mind.
I did not create him. I wish I had, because this is a really nice character. But
Not nice, in the, like the
yeah, oh yeah. Okay.
just lovingly
Anyway,
built.
so as I said, I'm gonna let you guys go first.
Okay.
Okay. Do we roll initiative, or are we just gonna go in?
Whoever wants to go first, I'm gonna let you do team order.
I imagine all my characters start looking at each other like, who's gonna go first?
Yeah, I'm looking real quick to see what I've got.
By the way, you
Oh,
guys have 2 guards at the door who have taken up a defensive posture behind a bunch of crates, so you can use those to your advantage.
cool. Vess has an interesting going first, if that's cool.
Go ahead, Vess.
Go ahead.
Vess is he'll step forward and get a little bit peeved, and will say like, "Didn't you read the sign? No admittance." And then he's gonna cast his I think it's Guardian of Faith,
Okay.
which is a large spectral guardian appears. So like an image of it, like an angel in a suit of armor appears in front of the intruder, and hovers for the duration in the unoccupied space. Basically, any creature that moves to a space within 10 feet of the guardian for the first time on their turn must make a dexterity saving throw or take damage. So basically, it just stands there with a sword and is like, "You shall not pass."
You shall not pass.
Yep.
Oh.
And then after doing that, he like darts behind a lab bench and cringes.
You're obligated to do one brave thing, and that was your one brave
Yep,
thing.
yep, that's it. Now the bonus action is the cringe.
Next.
Okay, Nick. Damn, my grandpa, he's a sneaky boy. Anyways.
Who's next?
I realized Dark Matter is surprisingly a more supportive character than I expected.
Well, do you want him to go next, or do you want him to go? And your myriad number of people. Aldo.
And my thousands of characters. That's the tsunami of characters. But anyway. This is a dank thought because I have too many. I have only like 3 characters who can fight here, but I'm trying to figure out which one should fight. Okay, I'll let someone else go because I need like more time to think. Okay.
Okay, Leilana's going to go.
I thought Leilana was going to go.
Yes, she is. But is she still currently in that primordial, like, white within white state? Because she's still channeling power into Lady Mary?
Lady Mary is currently asleep.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, but she's still channeling power into her because she hasn't let go yet.
Not yet. She might want to.
But she is going to break contact. Now turning to face this foe that she's not seen in a long time.
Yeah, this foe kind of looks at Leilana with a sneer.
Leilana does not notice the sneer at all.
Nope. I didn't think she would.
She is going to she's going to unleash magic missile at 7th level. And since it is instantaneous, I need to roll what am I rolling here? Crap. What is...
It's 1d4 plus 1. So you said 8th level?
7th level.
7.
Which I think isn't it? It's
Hold
3 plus
on.
9, so 10.
Hold on.
It's 6.
Oh, a 6. Okay.
It's 64 plus 6.
64 plus 6. And I am going to take from my sorcery pool, and I'm going to spend 4 of my 13 to empower my spell, because I can empower a spell spending 1 sorcery point.
Certainly can.
So I'm going to use 4 of my sorcery points out of my 13 to boost the damage of my magic missile.
Alright.
Let's see. And alright, so it's a 6d4 plus what?
Plus 6.
64 plus 6. So if I'm boosting that using an empowered trait,
I don't know what empower does again.
I can look it up real quick.
I have it right here. Empowered spell. When you roll damage for a spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point to re-roll up to 4 of the dice. You must use the new rolls, and you can use this option even if you've already used another meta magic option. Which, since this is my first roll, and I'm spending 1 sorcery point, or 4 sorcery points. Bleh. So if I'm taking 4 sorcery points to boost it, what is those 4 sorcery points going to do? Is it going to add a +1, a +2, a +3?
I think how it works is you can you cast this. I think with empowered, you cast the spell as normal, and then you can spend a sorcery point to say, okay, these 4 dice roll low. I'm going to re-roll these 4. I think. Yeah.
All right, so
So if you roll if all your dice roll high, then you don't want to spend it because you don't need to. But
all right, so 64
Yeah,
plus.
what it says is when you roll damage for the spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point, reroll a number of damage dice up to your charisma modifier, -1. You must use the new rerolls.
which I'm guessing is 4 for Leilana. Then if that's what the sheet is saying.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, so a 64 plus 6 is the base roll, but I have a spell modifier of +4, so that's 64 plus 10 for my first initial roll.
Right.
So I'm going to use the bot for this because I'm
Fair
not.
enough.
I'm not
That is
too
way
many
too
dice to roll, and my brain is not ready for that right now.
Okay, that's fair.
Where is the dice bot? Where are you?
In character chat.
Okay. 64 plus 10. 22.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is where if you want to use your empowered, you pick up the
take
4
it.
dice
Yeah.
to reroll.
Okay, so how do I do this?
I would say the easiest thing to do is to if you're gonna reroll 4 of the dice, just roll like 44, and then we'll substitute those dice rolls for the lowest rolls in.
Alright,
Which are
so
twos.
okay, so 4
4d4.
4d plus 4.
No, just 44, I think, in this case.
Yeah, 4d4. Okay.
So that's better, yeah.
Yeah, that is better. Okay, so well, one of the ones isn't going to be taken out, but we can
So-
take out. Okay.
I would say basically, because take the two highest from the previous roll, which was a 3 and a 3, 6.
So
plus
what
the
does
10 is
that give
16.
me?
I think if I'm doing the math correctly, that's you raised your damage to 26. So you did 26 damage with your.
All right, there we go.
26.
I think, yeah,
Yeah, that's
'Cause-
what it looks like to me.
yeah.
Yeah. 26.
I'm reaching into territory that I have not reached into.
Fair enough.
Ah, okay. Well, technically that was a non-magical attack, and yes, okay. So that was you.
Non-magical attack.
Don't worry about it.
There's a method to the madness.
Okay. So who's next?
Hmm. Huh.
Well, let's go to another physical person instead of staying with the same person in a different character. So that would be you, Alderman.
Holy shit. Okay then.
Yeah, one of your many characters. Which one goes?
One of my mini characters.
Which one goes? Technically, Magehead would go on Alderman's because you two are a
Yeah.
set.
They are the two of the same character, but not really. They share each other's stats.
Yeah.
But basically Alex, just like I almost forgot Alex was a werewolf, damn. But yeah. Eventually before anyone could do anything of that small group, Dark Matter just goes, "Okay, hey, I've not done anything with these fights, and I feel like I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna go and do something myself," he says. Well, he knocks the side of his head slightly as two handles for a sword pops out of his little the mouth hole of his mask, and he pulls these swords out of his mouth.
All right. And
He is going to take his first sword and he's going to throw it at the ground. And as it hits the ground, it turns into a practical saw blade as it starts spinning against the ground.
all right.
And it's gonna spin towards him, and I gotta roll for that. Oh no. Dark Matter needs to do rolls. How could it predict it? Roll. Roll, Dark Matter. I believe in you. I'll give you a small modifier. I believe in you. You know, even if I didn't add the modifier, I got a nat 20.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So yeah, that Soul Blade sword is coming.
Yeah. Well, okay. So now do your damage. It's the way that we do crits is you double your dice damage, but nothing else. Everything else is single. If that makes
Okay.
any sense whatsoever.
I don't know how you say Soul Blade sword has damage. Well, it's just a sword, but spinning like a Soul Blade. How do you convey that damage?
DM.
Oh. Would it mean it would be a 2D because crit? Or
2d6 and would this be strength or dexterity?
he's not even touching the sword. He just threw the sword and it's magic wise just flying towards him on the ground. Okay, Dark Matter does not have the best strength stats, so I'll give it just a measly +2.
Okay.
Okay, he rolled a 5 for that damage.
All together?
Yeah, he rolled a 2 and a 1, but plus that 2.
Okay.
I got very unlucky with that roll, you see.
Alright, so... Who's next?
Slow blade right into the face.
Would that be Moogie?
I think Moogie would be a good choice for next.
Yeah. Let me pull up his character sheet.
Isn't he in goblin form right now?
I think so.
Wait, what?
What form is Moogie in?
Oh, he'd be in his goblin form.
Okay.
I love him in his goblin form.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Uh. What to do, what to do, what to do. Don't have a whole lot of stuff that I can do right now because Mookie doesn't really have much.
Not as a goblin.
No, not as a goblin. So, Moogie is going to attempt to do the only thing he can do right now, and he is going to use intimidating presence.
Small little goblin.
You
What
can-
is the person?
You can frighten a creature that you can see within 30 feet if it can see and hear you. It must succeed on a wisdom saving throw DC of 15 or be frightened until the end of your next turn. You can use your action to extend the duration of this effect each turn unless it moves out of line of sight or is more than 60 feet away from you. He's attempting to do this.
Tempting. Okay, so I will roll. Said a wisdom saving throw of 15.
Yeah, DC at 15 or be frightened.
He made his DC check.
Damn it.
Okay. Do you want to move? Do you want to? That was only your action.
Yeah, that was all of my action. Okay, who's next?
Okay,
Okay,
so
so we go back. So we go back to Alduin.
Oh,
Is this going to be Alex or
Sure.
Alduin, or it's going to be Alex?
yep, Alex, because old one is kind of cowering.
Okay, that's fair.
Because he knows this man, and he doesn't want to face this man again.
Probably
So
not. And I would imagine Mage Hand is also cowering.
Mage Hand, it's like, I would be mad at you, but I hate that dude.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hide down
Okay.
here.
So
Alex
Alex,
is like the
what are you doing?
Okay. Alex is going to. Actually, I need to check back at what I actually written down he can do in this form, this tournament form. I need to look down at it. I need to scroll up for it. Okay, there it is. I haven't touched this stat sheet in a while. But anyways. Okay, technically Dark Matter used a actual ability, so he can't do anything, I don't think. He can't
No,
add yet.
He's already taken his turn.
Yes. So Alex is going to, of course, because he's like behind the desk, he's gonna leap over it.
Yeah, right.
And okay, let me look at all the abilities he has. I'm going to. Okay, this is. Even if I know what all these do, I still need to remember what I can do.
Understand that.
Okay, I believe I am going to use. Ace Rex doesn't know what's about to hit him. Literally, hey, let's use Death Roll. Giant ball of wolf.
Go for it.
Death Roll. Okay, I need to remember how to roll. It's simple. It's simple rolling. All I do is I roll and I pray. Actually, I don't remember what adds to it. And because I don't think Ace Rex took any damage, I don't think I can use the advantage against wounded targets.
No, he's taking damage.
Where is Aya right now?
Aya's still in the room, but I haven't. I'm letting all of you go first, and she's going last because I've also got to run up.
Like, I get a certain advantage on targets that are wounded, but I don't know how wounded Ace Rex is for that to count.
I think
That's
we
true.
should just narratively say if he's taken damage, he's been hit. So that affects his
Wounded.
play.
Yay! I get an actual chance of hitting him, aka just a measly +4 against wounded targets. Anyways, let's roll Death Roll. I got a 20 now. What does a 20 do again? What does a 20 do again when I freaking complete? Okay.
Was that a nat 20,
Uh,
or was that
a 20 from a modifier, but I'm trying to see what the roll does. When
Dirty
you get it.
20.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see that now.
Okay, a 20 is rolled, the target gets something. Yes, I just kind of really hurt him. Okay, I roll him over, knocking him off his feet, but also may or may not dislocate something in the process.
Just
I just really hurt him, that's all you need to know.
yeah, but you need to roll your damage to your hurt.
Yes, I know, I'm just saying what it does. I don't remember what I didn't ever specify damage dice, so I need to specify damage dice now.
A D8.
Yeah, a D8 seems to works. A D8, and I guess plus my strength.
Yep.
Okay, what is it? It's very simple. It's just a +2. Okay, I got an 8. 8 damage with that rollover.
Wow, that's dinky damage. 8?
I don't know why I'm getting real unlucky with all my rolls here. Like, I rolled my D8 with a +2, and it gave me an 8.
Oh, it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Remember, guys,
Happens
you
to
use
the best
essence
of us.
points to increase damage.
Well,
If you need to.
I'm being very sparingly with it.
Okay, so that was Alex. Alduin is hiding in a corner along with Mage Hand.
Yes, I do like the idea this Ace Rex gets hit with a Soul Blade sword and then rolled over. That's funny.
Let me just roll something. Okay, now Aya's going to go, since someone was asking about what's going to happen with Aya.
Alright.
Uh,
While this is all happening, I'm gonna spend one threat to basically make it so that the effects on Lady Mary are going to not progress, but like they're gonna like become more apparent because you guys it's a timed battle.
Ooh.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Because you guys have to get to the Sentinel, do the thing, save her, whatever.
Okay, so what she's gonna do is she is going to cast she is going going to cast Fireball at. I'm going to say. Oh, this is good. Yeah, that's. Yep, okay. She is going to cast Fireball at 5th level.
Okay.
Which is a dex of 19. This dex is good. Even doing what I thought I was gonna do. Let's see.
I like my Ace Rack flat and toasty.
Flat and toasty. 17. Okay. And because I'm playing the other side, which you don't know. So she conjures up this fireball. You see her throw it. And he is going to use one of his legendary resistances. Which means that if he fails a saving throw, which he just did, he can choose to succeed instead. So he looks like it's going right for him, and then it faces right through him. It doesn't look like he took any damage from it.
At this particular point in time, I would like to remind Lady Mary that she has a certain partition of favor still in her pocket.
Yes, but she is 90 years old and she might not remember. So that is Aya. She says something in Draconic that not everybody's going to know what she said.
Leilana does.
Leilana, you hear Aya curse for the first time.
Leilana's gonna look over at her with a grin. Like it's about time.
Yeah, it's about time. Right. And now it's Lady Mary's turn, and she is currently asleep. This is going to be sufficient to rouse her. Nope. She is still asleep.
All right, the two
Out of
guards with pulse rifles are gonna go.
All right, go for it.
All right, so I'm gonna use their aim ability. So I'm actually gonna, since these are allied characters, I'm gonna ask you to borrow 2 essence points so they can use the aim ability.
Okay.
And I need to roll 2 of those. So, oops, no, here dice. One hits, 1 misses. So the damage is 1d8 for each. Hold on, I have to get another d8. There we go. 3 damage. To 3 damage to Ace Rack.
Wow, you guys are tanking.
Well, they're going up against a super big bad who they weren't expecting, and like, well, they have these rinky-dinky little pulse rifles that are probably not going to do any damage to them at all.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's very true.
So, yeah. So like one just kind of like pops up over the, the barricade or the makeshift table that's been flipped over, and he just kind of like shoots his weapon, misses. The other guy does the same, actually hits, but only does 3 damage.
Okay, so that is all the
Party
heroes.
members. Yep.
Now it's Ace Rack's turn.
Oh dear.
And as a free action, he looks at all of you. So nice to see all of you in one place.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure Alex is actually just behind him because he rolled over him. I remember.
Yeah, I know. He's aware. see without your major powerhouse. And he looks towards Lady Mary. You're as good as dead. And with that,
Dying is subjective. Like what it just says in the background.
yeah, I know. With that, he is going to use one of his legendary actions, which is Frightening Gaze. And he's going to look at... He's going to look at Leilana.
Uh-oh.
Does Frightening Gaze count as a charm?
Frightening Gauge, no, I don't think this is a charm. Let me, because it doesn't say it's a charm. I mean, it's a wisdom saving throw, so if that's a charm. I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
So roll me a wisdom save, Matt, for Leilana.
This is gonna suck because she's only got a +0 to her wisdom saves.
Well, then pray you roll well.
That's an 11. I don't think it's gonna be do too well.
No. So you're frightened for 1 minute. But you can repeat the saving throw at the end of each one of your turns.
Okay.
Okay. And frightened, it just means that you have disadvantage on all your ability checks and attack rolls.
Okay.
And you cannot willingly move closer to your source of fear, so you can't get any closer to Acerek. Not that I think that Leilana would get any closer to Acerek at this point.
No.
And he smiles. He does that Joker-esque like smile. So, that was his turn.
He stays at that end of the corridor, I assume, right?
He does not move.
All right, fair enough.
Another essence, another threat. Another danger point is being spent as Lady Mary is going to show more signs of decay.
Also, Alex, of course, looks over his shoulder going, just like thinking, I just ran you over. How are you standing again? He doesn't say that, but he thinks that.
Okay, so now we go back up to the top, which is,
I think
Vess.
Vess went first last time, so. Vess is going to peek around from cover. And he'll say, yeah, you better stay back. And then he'll cast Sacred Flame on Acerek.
Okay. That's fair.
Which is Dex 16 saving throw
Dex
on him.
16. I can choose to let these things go through. I don't have to use my use that. He kind of looks at you and he's still smiling. Do your damage.
Oh, okay. It's rolling. There we go. Does 12 radiant damage to him.
Oh, radiant. Okay, you said 12?
Yep.
Okay. Next in the order is Leilana. What do you do?
Well, Leilana's going to attempt to roll to get out of this because she can't
What?
really do much otherwise.
Well, I mean, you can still throw spells at him.
Yeah, I think
Oh, well.
if you're frightened, it prevents you from moving towards the opponent, basically.
Correct.
Okay, well, she's going to viciously lash her hand out and she's going to cast Lightning Bolt.
Ooh.
Okay.
This spell is instantaneous,
Uh-huh.
so I have to roll a 12d6 plus my modifier.
Woo! You're going to be doing some damage on him.
$39.
39.
Yep.
He now looks like he stuck his finger in an electric socket, but other than that,
This is
Okay.
like lots of.
yeah, he coughs and a little puff of smoke in a smoke ring comes out. Okay, next is Dark Matter.
Let's go. Dark Matter thinks and looks and sees Alexis behind Acereg and thinks, would this be worth it? I'm all about bad decisions. Like, everyone in the party can see him thinking, even if his mask may have no emotion but the emotion that's stuck with. You can tell he's thinking about to do something bad.
You also notice, a Dark Matter, that the fireball that was thrown by the very lovely tiefling did no damage on him. And he's smiling this really huge, clownish grin, like from ear to ear.
Dark-
It's unsettling.
Dark Matter kind of is going to use his ability that kind of was stated before, that talking to people's heads, and he kind of says to the whole party, wait a minute! Our attacks I don't think are doing anything.
Did it look like the sacred flame hurt him?
I don't
Leilana's Lightning Bolt did some damage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think basic, like, physical attacks are going to work on him that easily. Or at least nothing that... We need to have more potent attacks, okay? Or we need to think of some other thing to do. I know cheeky people. I was one of these... I was a cheeky person before. I know what kind of... what that kind of smile entails.
Also, Dark Matter,
Mm-hmm.
roll a perception.
Oh, let's see how good his perception is now, shall we?
Yes.
Like, any stat that isn't something he does a lot, such as perception, I don't give very high... Like, he got a 16.
Yeah, you're also noticing that the very nice lady that just appeared in the room, who was very nice talking to you and all that, who's now sitting in a chair that looks really, really old, is decaying
He also says, hey,
faster than is expected.
She's like, he's like, that, referring to, I assume, Lady Mary, right? He's like, Lady Mary's rotting, he says, in like a worried, like, tone. So doing something, we gotta be faster. I've had enough
One
of
of
this
the
already.
guards turns around, behind the barricade that's set up, and he says, "We can escort you to the Sentinel, but we're gonna have to get down the. We're gonna have to go down the hallway towards that thing." And he points over his shoulder.
Dark Matter like pulls out the half-formed ace card and goes, "This won't do." He says, while putting it back away. Okay, I think I have a bad idea plan. He says. Well, again, he's trying to say it as secretly as possible, aka through his telepathy. Very useful. But he goes, "Okay, I think I have a bad good plan. If you guys remember what I did, well, remember when Alex went into like a rabid mode? Not with the kid, but with the other thing. Red eyes, mauling someone's face off. No. Well, anyways,
Leilana cannot speak right now. She is channeling primal forces.
but he just goes, I can trigger that on demand. Of course I can. Well, I can know how to, but I'm not sure if it'd be a good idea. Just keep clear of him, I guess.
Will do.
Dark turns to like Alex behind, of course, behind Azarak and goes, Alex! Slaughter them all! And then all of a sudden, Alex's eyes turn red. Well, his pupils do. Yay! Blood rage mode.
Okay, so that's Dark Matter's go.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, a little bit of roleplay in between, because yes.
Okay, you needed that. Moogie, it is now your turn.
All right. One moment while I pull this character sheet back up. Come on, load. Thank you.
Load.
You butt. Okay, Moogie is going to fly into a rage.
Okay. He does know where Aya is though.
Now we're not pulling out that creature unless it's absolutely necessary, not in this tiny space.
I'm just
Please
letting
don't
you
destroy
know.
my facility. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is reminding you that is something you can do.
Yes. Please don't break my map, my achy breaky map.
So yes. Okay. So you're going to fly into a rage. You're gonna get
Yep.
And you're also going to get closer to Azarak, correct?
Moogie is going to. Yes, he's going to get closer to Azarak.
Alright.
So. So yeah.
So you attacking him?
Yes, he's attacking him physically.
Okay.
So I get a +3 to my saving throws on melee damage. Yeah, +3 melee weapon to strength weapons. I'm resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage. I can't cast or concentrate on spells right now, but I am going to be using a melee attack, so I'm going to be punching him with my enraged fist. So,
Go ahead and try to hit him.
what is that roll again? It's a D. What is this roll? Why does it not tell me the dice roll for this?
What, to hit him?
Yeah, it's a D. I just roll a D20, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
D20 plus your strength modifier, I believe.
Yep.
Okay, my strength modifier is +9. Okay. Just checking to make sure I have everything. Okay, so that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Because I rolled a 17, I have a strength modifier +9.
Okay.
Does that hit?
What was your overall?
I rolled a 17
And you had a plus what?
+9, so 26.
You hit.
Okay, so now what do I roll for my melee damage is the question. It's an unarmed strike. Let me see what my unarmed strike is. So an unarmed strike. For this says that an unarmed strike is. Oh, wait a minute. I have I have 2 attacks per action.
Yes.
Okay, so he's gonna hit him again.
Yeah, but you need to roll your damage for the first
Yeah.
Yep.
This says unarmed strike damage is 5 on my page here.
one. Okay.
So you do 5 damage.
So I'm going to roll again. Make sure the second one hits. Watch it not hit because reasons.
You don't know.
Oh wait.
Oh.
I rolled a 19.
Yeah, that even with your thing. Yeah, that hits.
So he's gonna do another 5 damage punch to the gut.
Oh, well, it's really unsettling, Boogie. You hit him twice in the gut, and you'd think that would take this smile off of his face. It doesn't. It's one of those unsettling smiles. Alex!
Yes, Alex in very big angry wolf mode.
Yes! What do you do?
Okay, in this form he gets a lot of buffs because it's. I can only do it once a day, so.
That's fine. That's fine. What do you do to him?
Well,
Technically, you're behind him.
yes.
You remember you rolled over him in your first one.
Alex is super in feral mode. This means less thought, more attack.
Pretty much.
So he's just going to feral, like, jump onto him and try and, well, bite his head. Trying to bite clean off.
Okay. Roll me an attack roll.
Rolling attack, and because he is already wounded, I get a bit stronger. Okay. Hey, I get a whopping that. Okay, boom, let's go. 23.
You hit.
Latch and bat. Just bite as hard as possible.
Okay, roll me your damage.
Gotta roll his damage, plus everything it gets just for him being wounded, and the buff state that he's stuck in. Would that be like a 1d8 for like biting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be right back.
Alright.
And I got a 9.
That's with all your stuff?
Sadly, yes, because like he gets a +8 because the target is wounded and with the buff of put on top, but somehow I'm rolling really low.
Alright. That's fair.
And the reason I rolled so low is because I rolled on that 1, but because of the 8, I got a 9.
That's fair. Okay. Let's see. What do I want?
Well, now I'm latched onto his face.
Yeah.
Big werewolf.
Okay.
Still behind him.
DM,
Yes.
which way did the guards indicate that they had to go?
Forward and to the right. There's like a glass kind of like panel that you
So-
see off to like a large
so-
circular chamber.
So through Acerak.
Well, get closer to Acerak and then make a hard right. Because
Okay.
Acerak's at the end of the hallway, so it's
Right, and
it's
he hasn't
30,
moved. Okay.
and then another like 30
Okay.
to get to Acerak, so it's
Cool.
60 feet.
And the spectral guardian is between Acerak and us too.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what Aya kind of takes stock of the situation because she's last in this.
Yep.
So what she's doing, as she sighs heavily, says something again in Draconic, which I think the only person that can understand this is Leilana.
But wait, I'm pretty sure Alduin is a dragonborn and I can speak Draconic.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, Alduin also heard the cursing coming from Aya the first time,
Yeah.
and this time what you hear her say is, "Well, time to protect the people so that we can get Lady Mary up. She is our biggest hitter."
Agreed.
One of the guards looks to the other guard, and both of them nod, and they look to you and they say, "We have an idea that can get you a little closer and buy you some time." They both
She
reach
says
into
that
their belt, pull out a small cylindrical object, and they're gonna toss it over behind them
Okay.
into the battle.
Okay. First of all, unless the guards know Draconic, they wouldn't have heard that.
Well, no, but they don't know Draconic, but
Aren't they kobolds?
They are kobolds.
They
yes.
might if they're kobolds.
They are kobolds. Yes.
So, yes, kobolds do know Draconic because
Yep.
Rag knows that.
Yep.
So, Aya takes a look at the situation, says what she says, and throws up wall of fire in front of Acerak.
With Alex nomming on his head.
Well,
Like a
okay.
big treat.
It's I can make a wall up to 60 feet long, 20 feet high, and 1 foot thick. So basically she's cutting off right where you guys have to make that hard. It's a hard right.
Yeah. Yep.
Correct.
Mhm.
That hard
Yep.
right turn.
Yep.
In front of you and Acerak, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, I'm back.
Aya has thrown up a wall of fire to get people to where they need to go.
Okay.
She is. Each creature within its area must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 5d8 worth of fire damage, or because I'm doing this all the way at 9th level, 10d8 worth of fire damage.
As GM, I'm going to be spending 2 threat to make not threat, but sorry, keep forgetting it's called danger points. To make it so that this facility is going to be, the structure of the interior of the facility is going to be caught on fire as part of this.
Ooh.
So the environment is now on fire.
Sorry.
We'll worry about that later.
I'm sorry, Alex. I'm going to have you do this.
Burning.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to make a DC dexterity throw of DC 19.
A dex saving throw?
A dex saving throw.
Well, okay. Luckily, he gets a +4 on all stats 1 blood rage. Nice, but like, yeah, you're forcing him to unlatch from.
Not necessarily. Just.
Or he could drag him like this is my
Just-
true source.
Roll your saving throw, please.
Wait, give me a sec.
Yeah.
I'm trying to trying to count numbers. Give me a second. Trying to math. I'm not good with math. Wait, okay, I just do this easily. I'm gonna get the calculator out. Easy.
Oh wait,
Easy.
the other person who's in this is Moogie, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a 17.
Mookie has to make a what saving throw?
A
Dex.
dexterity saving throw. So you
Okay.
had 17. Oh dear.
I got a 17 with my roll.
Okay, that's fair.
That is a 14 for Moogie.
14. Okay. That's going to hurt on everybody's account. Okay, so everybody who failed, which is everybody.
Can Acerec even roll?
Yes, actually he can.
So I failed too with my 17.
You take 35 worth of fire damage.
How much?
35.
That could kill me instantly, but okay then.
You should
Moogie
be
is fine.
You should be all leveled up, dear heart.
Yes, I should. Now let me see how much damage it does. 35. Oh, that's 32 health left because of that.
Yeah.
Well, old one is nowhere near it, right?
Yeah, Alduin's nowhere near it.
Yeah.
This is way out in front of everybody.
At least Acerec also got the damage.
Yeah, he also got the damage.
Anyways, I think it's hard to dodge when you're being bitten down on.
Yeah, as the firewall goes up and two guards see this like spell being cast, they wait a couple seconds to hear if anything's happening on the other side, and then one peeks over and looks to the other one and says, "Move," and he just kind of like does the military kind of like go, go, go.
Okay, I missed something. I had to go and do something for a second.
Okay. So now it's Acerec's turn. He still has that sickening grin, although from
Hard to
this
see it.
side, yeah, it's kind of hard to see it because of the wall of fire.
And werewolf on face.
The wall is opaque and lasts for duration. Now, he can't see the other people, but he can feel a goblin at his feet and a werewolf
On his face.
on his face.
Munching on his head, yeah. Like a giant chew toy.
He's actually going to take. He's going to take. He's going to evoke an attack of opportunity from Mookie. Because he's going to take a step back from this lovely fire, so that he can deal with the thing that's on his face. So you get one attack, Moogie, because he's stepping back from you. He's coming out of your line of or influence of threat.
Okay, Moogie is actually not going to take that attack.
Okay.
He's going to jump back closer to Aya.
So disengage, right?
Okay, so he's going to jump back through the fire.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. So basically, what you guys see, you see the top of Acerec because he's grown a little bit. You see the top of him. You see him stepping back, but you also see, for some unapplicable reason, you see the goblin also stepping back and taking a kind of like a guard position next to Aya. And now, Acerec.
Question: Are we at the top of the round for Acerec?
No.
I think, well, Acerec goes last, and then we go back to the
Okay,
top.
okay.
Yeah.
After Acerec's turn, I'm gonna do something.
Acerec is going to. Okay.
Be back in a second.
Okay. No, he's not gonna do that. Whoop. Yeah, I know what he's going to do. He's going to try to... Yeah, okay, this is what he's going to do. He's going to... try to get Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Touch Alex.
So I need to roll something.
You might. Let's see if he hits. 26.
Let me look at my hit DC. Yeah, 26 is way above.
Okay,
No.
first of all, you take 10 points of cold damage. Okay. And now you have to roll a Constitution saving throw.
I can't. Okay, at least in this form, in this mode, I can at least get a modifier because my con saving throw is 0.
Just.
Okay, let's roll with the Mies. I got a 13.
Oh, that's not going to be enough. He just. Wow. He did a paralyzing touch on you.
Okay, I'm back.
Which means you're paralyzed for 1 minute.
He's like his mouth like unhinges and he kind of stumbles backwards.
No, you're still on him. You're paralyzed.
Damn, really? Oh, can't even be dramatic with this shit. Well, it's
They
dramatic.
basically turned you into a temporary leech.
Into a statue. Leech.
Yeah.
You're gonna deal with teeth buried into your skin now.
As he's not going to care. And yes, that is his turn. So, storyteller.
Alright, so I'm gonna spend 2 threat.
Not threat.
Danger points, sorry. So now I'm
Yep.
down to that. And, Lady Mary's chair starts beeping urgently.
We need to be faster!
No.
Old
You
one
hear an
says.
audible voice say, "Warning, occupant, life signs unstable. Seek medical treatment immediately."
We need to be faster now!
Lady Mary, you are now in stage 4 of 5.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Move. Can well, I'll wait until it's the top of the turn where I have an idea for Vest to do something.
And I have an idea for Moogie to do something.
Okay. She's 90 years old and the rolls prove it. She's still asleep, but she is mumbling. She's
Mm.
mumbling. And she's mumbling something like, "When I was your age, going to school was going uphill 2 ways in the snow."
The mage hand just says, "Easy, Grandma. Don't overexert yourself."
That's all you get out of her. I mean, that's basically what happens.
Well, that's what the mage hand says with response.
So yes, now back up at the top of the order. It is Vess.
Okay. Vest is going to run up to the chair. I'm gonna. Oh, it's my last spell slot for now. Can I? Is there any chance that a casting of Greater Restoration will at least buy Lady Mary some time by like turning
Spend
back?
4 essence points, and I will reduce the progression by 1.
Okay, sounds good to me. We'll do that.
Alright. So the color returns slightly to her clammy-like skin, and the beeping stops, but can still see the like on the readout, like she is not out of the woods yet. And this is gonna not prolong the inevitable. It's just like putting a band-aid on a already open wound that's pretty serious.
Right? Yeah, I didn't. I expected that at best it would buy us some time.
Yeah.
Her eyes flutter open and she sees you, Vess, kind of hovering over her. "Are we winning, Sonny?"
we're almost there. He will like get behind the chair and start pushing it, like,
Pushing it where?
down the hall where we gotta go. Like he's
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay. So she's got like one eye open and kind of she looks very, very groggy.
Yep.
So that is Vez. Next up, did I put my there's my list. It is Leilana.
Okay. Has the fear thing worn off yet?
Have you been rolling?
No, I haven't.
There's Constitution saving throw, I think, or
Yes.
okay,
Wait, it's a Constitution saving throw?
No, it's a wisdom. It's a wisdom.
wisdom. Sorry.
That is an 18.
You're still frightened.
She might be still frightened, but that doesn't mean that she can't get angry.
It's true. It's kind of that frightened anger, and you have noticed that Aya has put up a wall of fire to protect anybody going down the hallway and cutting across. So you can see Acerak just barely over this 20-foot tall wall of fire. So what do you want to do?
She doesn't really want to. She can see Alex is like attached to him and doesn't want to hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you also don't know what Acerak has done to him. It looks like Alex is still trying to attack. So what do you want to do?
Okay. Okay. So. Okay. Leilana is going to cast Sunbeam at 6th level.
Oh, that's a nice spell.
And it's a concentration spell, unfortunately. And Acerak has to make a Constitution saving throw of 17. Otherwise, he takes. Where's it at? It's basically 68 radiant damage. Plus my spell modifier.
Oh, wow, okay. Let me just... Oof. Let's see here. Alright, so, this is a con save?
Constitution saving throw of 17.
Okay. Constitution saving throw of 17, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, crap. I already forgot. Got the damn. Son of a bitch.
What?
I was trying to preemptively put the numbers into the dice roller so I could just go ahead and roll it when necessary, and I done forgot the damn numbers on the spell. 68. Okay, so then be plus. Okay, I almost put the wrong numbers in. What the hell? Okay. Alrighty, here we go. I got it. Finally.
Let's see. What was the DC that she had that Acerec had to have?
Constitution
17.
saving throw of 17.
17. Okay. I hate to do this to you. He uses another one of his legendary resistances. Which means, on a successful save, he takes half damage, but he isn't blinded by the spell.
Okay, so but I haven't rolled the damage yet.
Yeah, the damage is 68. So
Plus 4 because I have a plus 4 to my spell modifier.
right. So go ahead and roll that up, or have
So he takes 12 damage, 12 radiant damage.
12 radiant damage. Okay. All right.
Hold up. I'm going to spend 2 of my spell point thingy magickers to do the re-roll thing.
Okay.
How did I do that a minute ago? Where's that? So I roll. If I'm just doing 2, I do 4d or 2d8. Why 2d8?
Because you're selectively re-rolling those two, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so would it be a 2d2 as I'm only doing 2 points?
No, you're rolling the damage, re-rolling the damage dice that you already rolled. So you're taking the 2 lowest die and you're re-rolling them.
That would be a 3 and a 2.
Okay, so then what are the type of dice being rolled for the damage?
D8, I think. Yeah.
So roll 2 d8s.
Alright, so just a flat 2d8.
Yeah.
Correct.
What? 2 dead. Ah!
Nice.
That well, yeah, okay. All
I think
right,
that's
all right.
31 then damage.
31. Okay.
Yeah, so 31 radiant damage.
Halved.
It's like, I think 15.2.
Round down.
Rounded
So
down.
15.
That's 15. Yep. He still takes damage, so that still hurts.
But 15 is better than 12.
That
True.
is true. That is true. All right, so that's Leilona. Dark matter.
Dark matter. He's staring through the flame practically like like he's
Well,
Yeah.
you know that if Acerite tries to step through the flames, the flames are going to hurt a lot. But you also know that Alex is there attached to Acerite.
Yeah. he could
There's
probably-
also a spectral guardian waiting to swing a glowing sword at him.
Yeah.
But,
Oh,
Why
I'm
Acerite-
glad you reminded me of that. I forgot the Spectral Guardian was there.
Well, here's the other thing. That's the reason why Acerite didn't take a step forward.
but dark matter can he see Alex at all?
Not through the flames. Not at this point.
I hope he's doing good over there. Well, actually,
Well,
One essence point, not essence point, danger point, and you hear the creaking and cracking of the ceiling tiles as
Yeah.
some of the ceiling falls in on
remember
the opposite
when
side.
when Aya said sorry? Dark matter. It just occurs to you that this is fire, and where you guys are is also very flammable.
okay, this place is
As-
very flammable.
I'm gonna spend 2 more danger points to make a barrel of chemicals explode next to Acerec.
Okay, so what kind of damage is that?
It is a d6,
Okay, roll.
6 damage.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And she just.
Ow.
Boogie is going to take notice of that barrel exploding.
Hang on. We're not done with Dark Matter's turn yet.
Oh, I know.
You can preemptively look at the situation, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Dark Matter?
Yeah?
First of all, this place is falling down around your ears. Second of all, you just heard the warning bell go off on Lady Mary. So you kind of have a choice here. Do you save the space that you're in, or do you help Lady Mary get to where she needs to go? That is your choices.
Oh, Jesus. These are difficult choices these days. How important is this room?
Well, you could ask
if it
Beth.
collapses around you, you will not be able to synthesize a cure, and
I was gonna
kinda
ask
need
Beth.
the lab, but yeah.
Okay, so the lab is kind of vital.
Dark
Yes.
Matter looks around and thinks to himself, what could he do? What could he do? What could he do? Like, he's not like his brother. He can't make structures out of cards. He can't do that. He has cards, but he doesn't have that knowledge. He's like looking around panically. This is starting to annoy me. I'm about to use some drastic action. He just says this out loud for everyone to be concerned about if they feel like it.
One of the guards just yells back, "Whatever you're gonna do it quick. This place is coming down around us."
Fine! I'll be drastic! I have not called this person in a while. He says while pulling out this little watch.
Okay. So who are you calling?
He's gonna start winding back the clock on it,
Uh-huh.
and then he is going to pretty much drop it onto the ground.
Okay.
And then
So-
yeah,
Keep going.
basically for him everything goes dark, and for everyone you just kind of see Dark Matter just kind of freeze place.
Who
And-
appears?
This is a fellow that I didn't expect him to be pulling out at this moment, but I'm doing it now. Basically, this person eventually emerges from the darkness. Who called me at the Dark Matter? Well, no, he doesn't say Dark Matter. He sees him and goes, Flechette? Hi. Why do you have to use that name? Because the other name you use is my name, actually, and you keep stealing it? Sorry. You know, it sounds cooler than Flechette. Like, whatever. What do you want? This figure says while opening his eyes, revealing that both of his eyes are like little clocks on little watches on string in his eye sockets, because that looks cool. He goes,
Creepy,
"Okay."
but cool.
He goes, what do you want? And you haven't contacted me in how long? A lot of years. Like 1,000 almost. You know. Well, I sent you out to do some stuff for me and you'd never get back on. I know, but I need a favor from you. What is the favor? Here. Well, I'm in a building right now and it's collapsing and I need a little assistance. You want me to save a room? For what reason? Well, it's just, it's not big of a concern to you or anyone, just do it for me. You haven't contacted me in a while. Oh, and consider this your lucky day. I'm feeling a bit generous. I am still very busy on some other attendant stuff I want to do. But fine. I'll spare you this one favor. But, what? You have to stop using my name. You have to call yourself by your real name. Why? Again, I am Dark Matter. You're not. I'm tired of you using my name. People get confused. Okay. Now I'll do what I can, and you stop using my name.
He seems so timid and scared of this person.
I know.
Okay. You can pick up the watch now.
This
Okay.
is suffering from cat butt.
Yeah, I may have to step away for a second and feed him, but I want to wait until a good moment.
But he picks up the watch again, and
Okay.
the darkness goes back. He like you see him unfreeze. Like okay, I'm back. I got some. He stuffs the watch into his pocket. Okay. I think I got something. He says as 4 points in the room start rumbling, and all of a sudden these large, dark, shadowy hands appear, holding the structure up.
Ooh.
I think I bought us time.
That'll do.
Ugh, God.
What?
The two guards
What
are
are
currently
those?
making their way towards the what they call the arsenal
The arsenal.
archive. Well, archive. Sorry.
Archive, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Whoa. What are those dark those
Shadowy hands?
dark shadowy hands? Yes.
That's from. Okay, I have to be real with you. Dark Matter's not my actual name. I kind of
No
borrowed that.
kidding! This 90-year-old woman looks over at Dark Matter and goes, "No kidding! I knew that already."
Okay. Well, anyways.
Hold on. Pause. So,
Okay.
Dark Matter, you actually called upon a favor, right? From another
Um,
god or a being.
Well, it's not really a god, but well, actually, it's very close to
It's a
one. But
being.
yeah.
So,
I thought that was only for death savings. These are not death
Yeah.
savings.
Okay. So that I was just making sure because I was reading the rule and it's like, yeah, you're right. Continue.
He was not dying when he called this favor.
Yeah, you're good.
But he goes, well, my name actually is, he kind of says nervously, Flechette. It's a really dumb name, in my opinion. Why was I giving
Why
this
do
name?
you say that that's a dumb name, Sonny? It's a wonderful name.
Oh,
Leilana looks over at him, like, because she's kind of like, has her head, like, kind of turned to the side with a really confused look, like, what the hell?
well, he's like,
Even though
anyway,
her eyes are white within white and she's angry, she's got the what the hell look on her face. Like, excuse me? That's not your name? What?
he's
It
like,
is
well,
a lovely name. So
Oh.
you're saying that the real Dark Matter has done this and has saved at least this place?
yeah. He told me to stop using his name for this favor, anyways.
That is a very nice thing for that young man to do, and I will have to thank him most graciously. You, kobold in the back, keep pushing
Yes.
me.
Will do.
At this point, you guys, you're like past the two barricades, through the door, but you're making your way like around the corner on two wheels, well, on one wheel,
Yeah.
kind of like, yeah.
The drift style.
Okay, so that is now he's no longer called Dark Matter.
Yeah, his name is Flechette.
Flechette.
Yeah,
Flechette.
Flechette. It's I forgot what it is actually. It's like a round of some weapon.
Yeah, it's a type of projectile that's it's like a dart or a sliver. So it's
Yeah.
sharp.
It's a needle projectile.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so
Flechette.
that's your go. The Moogie.
Moogie is no longer enraged because, his thing is passed. He's gonna look over his shoulder at Aya, gives her a wink, and then grabs her hand.
Lord. Okay, first things first. She has to maintain concentration on that flame wall.
No.
So
I know.
what you're about to do is about to break the concentration.
Yeah, but Lady Mary has already gotten away. She's like 2 rooms away now. She's out of sight, away from Asarak.
Is that right?
Sorry,
So,
Hang on.
she is kind of, so think of it like an L, like a T-shaped, kind of like on its side. So there's a long hallway here, and there's a junction that goes over here. There's glass walls here that are kind of melting, and there's a large chamber that's a hollow, like a drilled chamber that goes to like this core metal thing in the middle that's like an elevator that goes deeper into the facility further down. And she is currently on that ramp over this open gaping area, and there are things, fire falling and stuff like that around
Sorry,
her.
what's happening?
So,
But she said she's already passed 2 barricades.
she passed past the 2 barricades, which were the flipped over tables at the entrance, the guard entrance, and then she has made it around the corner into this little
So
walkway.
She is out of sight of Acerek at
Correct.
this point.
But Acerek
Okay.
could see her through the glass, the melting glass.
Oh, that's true. Like, all the walls in this place are glass.
Yeah.
Everything is glass.
I knew this was a bad decision.
The roof to this room is already opened up to the sky, so there's plenty of room for this to happen.
It's caving in, and it's actually about 60 feet below the surface. Because remember, you guys were in a facility that was underground slightly, so...
Well, there's
Yep.
still plenty of room for this.
Okay,
How
so
far do we have
first-
to go to get to the archive?
You have to go 600 meters down.
Okay, like down as in like with an elevator, or
Yeah.
Yes,
that
it's an
sounds-
elevator.
yeah, it's an elevator.
Elevator.
And it's a slow elevator. It's not a turbo lift, I'm sorry. Your people haven't developed the technology yet.
Kobolds haven't evolved to the point of turbo lifts yet.
Nope.
They haven't evolved to ultimate ascension and
Okay,
decency.
so
So-
the first thing, she's going to roll is her concentration.
Hold up. This is something new that Mugi is doing.
Uh-oh.
There's not fusion is not happening here.
I know.
Well, it is, but it's not the same kind of fusion she's expecting.
Oh dear. Okay.
Mugi grabs her hand and he lets go of himself entirely.
What are you trying to do?
He infuses Aya with every ounce of his essence and drops
Alright.
nearly dead.
Alright. In that case, I need you to spend, what is it? Where's the ability? You are not negating death. You are calling upon your godlike powers. Please spend 15 essence points.
Okay. Where's it at? What channel is it in?
It's under
There it is.
in character. Yep.
Okay, yeah, we've got plenty for that.
All right.
So Mugi has basically infused Aya with his godlike essence.
Okay.
Now Mugi is laying on the floor nearly dead, by the way. Like he's got like a sliver of his life essence left.
You see like wisps of smoke kind of rising from his body, and his body's starting to flicker out of existence.
No.
Hang on. First thing she's gonna do is roll
Angry cat
her
noise.
concentration check. Which she makes, passes with flying colors.
Victory.
And what you see, at least from everybody's point of view, is he touches her and her wings come out. These beautiful dragon wings. And her eyes change. And that's what happens when Boogie does this. Okay, Alex. You can't do anything because you're paralyzed. Roll me a. Sorry, I am so sorry.
Alex is frozen in place, still biting on it.
What reality of Alex being frozen?
No, what do you want me to roll?
Okay, you need to roll me a let's see.
I'll be right back. You guys keep going.
All right, You need to
Yeah.
roll me another Constitution saving throw.
Roll me a con.
Yep.
Rolling. I got a 15 this time.
Unfortunately, it does not break it, so you're still paralyzed.
How high is this roll?
High. But I mean, with the +4, you can do it.
Yeah.
+4, you can do it. So I'm not saying that it's impossible.
Just gotta roll a 20, obviously.
I'm gonna step away for just a second to feed him.
Go ahead.
It's gonna take me like a minute or two.
Go ahead.
Alright.
Come on.
Alduin, Mage Hand, what are you two doing?
Mage Hand just like peeks over and it's like, we should do something. And Alden's like, but, shut up. You have a actual good weapon, points at Thunderloot. But I would hurt Alex. And I can't see him. But it's, whatever, fine. Just help the old lady get going then. What about the room is being held up by giant dark hands, Alduin, I beg you. I'm not wanting to get mad, but please suck up your cowardly for once. Once in your life, do something.
Is this Mage
So,
Hand speaking?
Yes,
Yeah, this is Mage Hand speaking.
Can Mage Hand please slap Alduin?
for comic effect.
Yes.
Just wait. It's like, please, boy, just man up.
Also,
I'm
okay.
back.
Thank you.
Man the hell up.
So Alduin, you have a
Yeah.
decision. You're being yelled. First of all, you're being yelled at by your Mage Hand. Second of all, do that. You could either help them get Lady Mary to the lift, to the elevator, or you could help try to take down Acerak. Keep in mind that you cannot see Acerak through the wall of fire.
Like Alduin's like I can't fight. Acerak, too strong. I'm just a single Mage's like, just pick. Go and help with the old lady or fight him. Gotta man up and do something with your life, boy. Okay, hoping the old lady it is, he says. Okay, abandoning a friend, good. Why are you so mixed responses? Because I'm making you stronger. It adds character. What does the slaps add? Pain. That adds character.
So you're gonna go help Vez push Lady Mary.
Yes.
Okay.
At this point, Vess and Lady Mira are about halfway across this, this walkway that goes to the center of this pillar.
Okay.
Goes down.
Aya is still concentrating on the wall of flame. Wall of fire, sorry. Yep, that's up to 1 minute. She can cast other things that does not require concentration, so what she's gonna do is something that what Leilana did, which is cast Magic Missile, because that she knows that hits. So, except she's casting that at 8th level.
I'm back. What's going on?
Moogie, please read your TMs. Answer the question that I asked you.
So that's how much damage her magic missiles have caused.
Oh, that's a lot.
It is. But he has not lost that grin.
Good. Hey, Strike,
Oh,
stop smiling, you weirdo. What's so funny? Am I funny? Am I funny now because I look like a clown?
I am going to shoot our wonderful DM a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ah, come on, stop that.
Sorry, folks. Give us a moment while we deal with things here.
I kind of don't want to say this on stream.
I hope that answers your question.
It does. It does. It
Alright.
does. Okay, this is what you see. Acerite still has this really goofy grin on his face. And he says, when you have healed that one that is running away, I will return. But I am keeping one of yours for now.
No.
He grabs Alex, which unfortunately you are paralyzed. You can't do a darn thing.
Help! Help me. I've been
He
kidnapped.
physically, you see this. It's,
Who sees this?
well, everybody who's in the room, and you also hear this because he is projecting his voice. But but everybody sees a crepit hand with Alex. It looks like Alex is frozen in place, bloodlust eyes, teeth bared, but cannot move.
The dark matter's like no.
Toodaloo, and teleports.
Damn son of the fuck! He freaking kicks a nearby hard object. He goes fuck that.
You
Holy
also hear Ao's curse very loudly in Draconic.
Alex goes. No, Alex is gone. Oldman goes, what? Goes, hey, you can't say that. That's very offensive.
I can say that if I want to. And as she say that, the wall of flames drops. She can drop that.
And Eldrin goes, I should have done something.
Leilana, please roll me a Constitution saving throw. At disadvantage.
So disadvantage is roll 2d and take the lowest.
Correct. And I'm gonna spend 6
Okay, so
danger points to increase the
So our lowest
emotional toll of this.
Oh no! Oh no!
Give me a moment.
uh,
That's down to that.
those remaining in the room can see Mugi's form collapse on the floor, and a single thin band of smoke rising from his body as it just instantly poofs out of existence.
Oh,
Then his body fades into nothing.
Alduin's like, what? What is happening?
To the floor, tears in her whited out eyes, as she can feel Mugi slip away from her again for a second time.
Alduin is just sitting there like, what is going on? First we were Aya is getting weak. Alex has been stolen.
Alex has been
Mugi gone. Alduin collapsed onto the ground. His the thunder lute kind of like clattering, not breaking, but clattering onto the ground. What is happening?
You hear this 90-year-old woman. Mr. Fresh, stop. Just for a second.
okay. I mean, we should keep moving, but
We should, but Leilani, my dear.
She can't hear you. She's still in her primal mental state, but she can feel the pain.
As we fade into her mind space, and you see the that door open up, except on the other side, what would be a hellscape is now crumbling in front of her. All the plants and stuff like that you've had in there, like all the life, is slowly wilting. All the trees are turning into fall-like stuff as things are becoming more decrepit. What does Leilani do?
She's laying on the floor of her mind space, curled up, crying as the world around her decays.
Earthquakes crack open the foundation of the ground beneath Leilani as she falls into an endless abyss.
What is she doing on the outside?
On the outside, you guys can see her laying on the floor. Her eyes are still white within white, but tears are flowing like mad rivers. Her body is contorting in pain as she is suffering the sudden loss.
Okay, thank you. Fess.
yes.
We need to keep going, but Aya, my dear. Yes, Lady Mary. Help her. Let's go, Vest.
All right.
she also does this, but it's very, very old and decrepit, so it kind of looks like.
Well, and Vest is too short to see over the chair, so he probably doesn't see it.
That's true.
The guards are already up at the elevator door, pushing the call button, and one's just frantically pressing the button repeatedly, come on, and then turns around and notices Acererak gone, and it's
oh,
he just turns back to the button, keeps pushing it frantically.
Because he doesn't know when he's gonna come back.
Yep.
he freaking grabs a chair, smacks the controller. Work.
Ale is going to walk up to this crying heap of Leilani and put her hand on her shoulder. What happens?
She is suddenly whisked away into the mind space, and
You are falling through a
black void.
All right.
Just free falling into oblivion.
Down below you, at a distance, you see a curled up Leilani, sort of scream crying as she falls.
Leilani! And she runs towards her.
You are falling, actually, so I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw to try and grab her.
Or to right yourself as you dive.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Now, I'm going to spend 5 threat or 5
Alright.
danger points. So let me drop that down to this. Hold on. Oops. Come on, stop that. Okay, good.
Stop that.
So, this is good. So, if you're unable to, I'm just gonna give you like what the scenario is. If you're unable to grab her in time, she'll fade into a state of depression that she'll not be able to come out of until the next season. I'm applying this as a complication to her character's narrative.
I
Yep.
understand that. Damn it.
All right.
I do understand that, and I'm fiddling with my stupid mouse because somehow or another I got a hair in there.
Fair enough. All right.
Almost all of our characters right now are having a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically.
Alright. Alright, so, I need to roll.
Yes, please.
Now, this kind of a fusion with Moogie, does that add anything to her?
No, because Moogie is gone.
No, I mean,
Moogie infused his essence into Aya.
yes.
Oh,
So does
okay,
that
okay,
add
okay.
anything to her?
It adds only a +2
To everything?
to everything that she is rolling.
Okay. Oh, phooey. Come on, that would have been such a good roll!
What did you roll?
Oh, +2, which is a +3, that would have been an 11.
Your hand reaches out, almost about to grab Leilana. Her hand outstretched, kind of like trying desperately and shaking violently to grasp your fingers. Your fingers touch, then separate as she falls and fades into the blackness.
No!
And you're thrown out of the mind space.
Ah! Boogie, why did you do that? Why? Why? Boogie!
We know.
As you're kind of like crouching up next to Leilana's helpless, heaping form of emotional torment,
I
and she's
hate
just rocking
you.
back and forth, unable to comprehend what has just happened.
At this moment, you see her eyes fade.
Uh-huh.
Like the white within white kind of just dies down, and it returns to her normal, like her onyx-looking eyes, because her eyes are like an onyx black color.
Her hair starts to turn black and raggedy.
Not again. We just went through something to change to change her look.
This is her becoming normal, like her what
Oh.
she looked like on a regular basis.
Okay.
Yeah, like she's reverting to a more human-esque appearance.
Okay. Leilana?
You could hear her mumbling something that sort of sounds like a little what tune, but you can't make out the word because it sounds
Oh.
like gibberish.
Oh, interest. She can roll perception.
There you go, roll perception.
Yep.
Why couldn't have that been my dexterity saving throw?
What'd you roll?
I had a 15 and my perception is a +7.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
So you hear this soft little. Everyone is gone now. No one to love me. Just over and over, the same few words over and over in a childlike voice. She's rocking back and forth, like there's tears streaming out of her eyes.
Leilana.
Her hair looks like it hasn't been washed in weeks.
Leilana, look at me.
She slowly looks up at you. She's looking at your direction, but she can't like see you with her
eyes are
eyes.
so blurry from all the tears.
And it's just that it's like if you're looking in a
Yeah,
direction. You don't
Yeah.
see what's right in front of you, even though you're looking at that particular direction.
Leilana.
She's rocking back and forth as she's like staring listfully at you.
Right?
I'm sad.
Leilana?
Everyone is gone now. No one left to love me.
That's not
Just
true.
rocking back and forth, like just she looks like she's been through hell in a single instance.
Leilana, that's not true. Leilana. Look at me.
And I'm going to roll a Constitution saving throw for Leilana to see if she can hear you or not.
Keep in mind this is at disadvantage because of your emotional state.
Yep.
If you'd like to spend essence points to boost that, that's up to you.
Alright, so that is a 13 plus my 7, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
What the
dirty
hell?
20. And that was with disadvantage because my first roll was a 16.
Okay, wow.
Luck of the Constitution saving throw, baby.
All right.
So she
what
can't
happens?
hear. Yeah,
She
so
can hear you now. Your voice has managed to punch through the shadow.
The ringing in your ears.
Leilana? Can you
She
hear me?
she kind of blinks a little bit and she's looking directly into your eyes. Like you can see she's staring at you.
And the way that Aya has her is
No.
ripped her on both shoulders.
She what now?
She's gripped her on both. Aya is holding Leilana's shoulders.
She is shaking so violently.
Yeah, but
She kind of like she's mouthing something, but you can't understand it because there's no words are coming out. Just she looks like a goldfish, kind of. No, not quite like that, but like more flat.
Okay.
Cool.
Leilana, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello, Aya.
Just really somber, like flat, mellow tone from her voice.
I don't know what Mookie was thinking.
Mookie never thinks. He just does.
And her eyes kind of roll back in her head a little bit, like she kind of like lifts to the side, like she's gonna fall over.
No, don't.
Where, Lady Mary?
She's going to get fixed. You need to stay upright and alert.
Where's Mookie?
And me, I think.
As the moment you say that, it kind of you hear a soft echo in the back of your mind of Moogie kind of sort of like nonchalantly whistling. Well, the best way a goblin can whistle, it kind of sounds like he's going through puberty all over again. Like the voice is cracking and everything.
Eyes in your head.
Aya will briefly close her eyes, and in the mind space she will rapidly turn around.
You're in your little room
Fine.
with two beds and kind of like the in kind of setting. And you're at the door. Door's closed. No one's in the room. At least when you turn around.
You're hearing the echoes of like Moogie whistling off in the far distance.
Mookie, show yourself.
All you can hear is distant whistling echoes. as if he's whistling a song of the olden days.
Moogie, this is not funny. Your sister just lost you for a second time, and she is now in a state. What the hell did you just do?
You get no reply. It's just distant whistling echoes. You realize that Moogie's physical being is completely gone. His essence is within you completely.
No shit.
That's what Aya is realizing. Like she's now realizing, oh God, Moogie's truly gone, and I have all of his essence. You're literally talking to yourself right now. That's basically what's happening. You're talking to yourself.
Yeah, the thing is that that's not exactly connecting with Aya right now, because she's always been able to talk to Moogie no matter what form he's in. So that's not. It's not connecting. Not with Aya. I know what you're doing.
Yeah, Aya don't.
Aya
I am so
has,
confused.
Yeah, Aya has absolutely no idea. Okay. Moogie, what the hell? Answer me.
The only reply you get is a distant whistling of a tune. An old tune, a tune you recognize. If you want to roll roll a history check.
Do I have to roll a history check?
Yes, you do. Because this is vital to you knowing what's going on.
Oh, come on!
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 2! Come on!
Remember, you can use essence points to reroll.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
For Pete's sake! Okay, yeah, I'm going to.
Yep, she's definitely going to.
So, do I just spend 1 to do a reroll?
It's 2.
2?
Yep. And don't you have advantage on history checks?
No!
What is your history? What is your history counter?
It's 7. I had a 9 all together with that first roll because I rolled a damn 2.
All right. So what's your other roll?
I don't. Hang on, I've got to record this.
Alduin, are you still with us?
Yes.
Okay. You were super quiet. I thought you disappeared or something.
Okay.
I've just been thinking what I'm about to do with the sad because it's so sad.
Okay. Come on, get me something better than single digits. Oh, for Pete's sake!
What did you roll?
I rolled a 3. With the 7, it's a 10. And this is one of my better rolls, guys.
Well, you got double digits, so.
And succeed at cost.
Oh, there we go.
So, whatever cost, you recognize the whistle.
All right.
A really deep memory surges forth of the first time you met Moogie. The very first time. It was during. No, not in the sewer.
Okay.
It was when he was running through the village, running away, and Aya was chasing him. This whistle is the same tune of the band that was playing during the festival, that fall festival, when you first met Moogie. And this was seasons ago.
Yes, this was seasons ago.
Season 1, Episode 2.
You could pick out the distinctive strums of the instruments. You can hear the thums of the drums. You can hear the tinks of the little bells in his whistle.
And the sweet taste of cotton candy hits your lips.
Delicious.
You remember having cotton candy and sharing it with Moogie on a bench during the festival.
After you calmed him down.
Why did you do that? Why did you leave your sister again? What do I do?
After saying this, the tune of the song changes to a soft, loving melody. A melody that you remember when you and Moogie both suffered your first battle.
Which was what? I don't remember.
You were going
I
up
believe-
against the Blackwings.
Oh.
And the moment you remember that, power surges within you. It's warm, it's inviting. You can hear giggles and laughter in the background. You can hear the screams of children running through the streets as they play with their little, weird, rolly toys and such.
As you look up, and the scene kind of does that rotational kind of full-on scene change around you.
Uh-huh.
You're back home in your village, all in the schoolyard, and all the kids around you are playing and enjoying their time together, and you're just standing there.
But next to you is a speechless Moogie. He's kind of shimmering a little bit, and the image points to your house.
What do I do with your sister?
He's pointing at it with a gnarly goblin finger at your house.
She starts walking.
As you
Now-
start walking, the students stop what they're doing, stand, two single file lines leading out to the gate, and the gate opens slowly, and they just watch you walk continuously, slowly up the hill towards your house.
Are you okay?
Keep going.
I'm sorry. You make your way up the hill and you put your hand on the knob and turn it and open it. And inside you see yourself, your mother, your father, two of your brothers, and Leilana sitting on a couch.
On the coffee table in front of you is that dragon swing that your father gave you, but sitting next to it is a petal from a opal rose.
What do you do? Moogie, the image of Moogie points to the coffee table, and he's pointing at the petal.
Aya will pick up the wing and the petal. With the wing in her left hand and the petal in her right.
The moment you pick them both up, you snap back to reality, and the sudden idea of what to do surges through your mind.
Which is what my brain is
Please
mush.
message the other
I will message you. Yes.
Please.
Hang on a second. I got a DM from somebody. Okay. Hold. Message.
Dude, Do-do-do-do-do.
Hmm.
Excuse us, folks.
Yeah.
This is what constitutes whispers. If you've ever watched Critical Role.
Oh yeah.
To put it bluntly.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Now, does she actually have these items in her hand?
You open your eyes from the mind space, and in your hand are the petal and the wing. They have materialized into real objects.
I mean, in my real space where I am.
Yes, where
Yes.
where your physical body is, they have manifested themselves into actual objects.
Okay. Aya opens her eyes, looks at her right hand, and pushes, and takes her right hand and puts the pedal up to Leilana's head.
You are drawn back into Leilana's own mind space. You're falling again, but this time you're slow falling.
Okay. Thank you.
Mind you, you do have your wings even in this space, so don't forget that part.
Well, she's slow falling at this point.
Yeah.
There's not a. She was in a panic the first time. She wouldn't have thought to bring out her wings. So.
So what do you do?
Well, she has. She has the pedal.
Right.
Leilana. Do you remember this?
You hold. You're holding the pedal out?
I'm holding the pedal out.
When you hold the pedal out, everything inside the mind space stops dead in its tracks. You're not falling anymore. Leilana's not falling anymore. The world around you just freezes. Like a wall of icy glass. And then it shatters. And you're standing on solid ground again with Leilana on the floor, still crying.
Leilana.
There's like that kind of like spotlight.
She looks up at you. She's wide-eyed. Tears are flowing. She looks as she's been crying for over a year.
Leilana, you remembered this, right?
She reaches up.
She still has the hand with the pedal in it.
She reaches up with a shaky hand and just barely pinches the pedal. Now what do you do? You gotta open the floodgates?
Leilana, do you remember the last time I came here after Mookie died?
The memory of the first time you two met floods her mind.
Do you remember what I said to you?
She does not.
I said that I could be your sister.
The moment you say sister, the mind space is flooded with this pinkish water,
Pink?
like pinkish
come
water.
on.
Yes, not
You're
that
being
kind of.
girly about it, aren't you? Meh.
Yes, I am.
Meh. Sorry, guys.
The whole mind space is just flooded like from floor to ceiling. As you open the floodgates and let your memories flow, and Leilana snaps to.
Okay.
She stops crying on the floor. Her eyes have returned to being just brown,
Mm-hmm.
because her usual eye color is brown.
Mm-hmm.
She looks at you and grabs you in a hug.
Well, I'm going to use a phrase from Rags that we so recently hugs for the hug inclined. And she's being hugged by this person. She says that in Leilana's ear. Hugs for the hug inclined. What does Leilana do?
Leilana is she's trying to control her breathing, because she's now realizing that she still has family in this world, even if one of them is gone. Thank you for pulling me out of that. I didn't know how far I was going to fall.
I don't know what Mookie was thinking.
I think I know what he was thinking. Acerak was a destructive force. He was doing the one thing he knew how to get him to go. The last time Moogie did that, Acerak was forced to leave because he couldn't get a hold of Moogie's soul. I think Moogie was... that little idiot. I'm going to kick his butt next time I see him.
I don't think you're going to see him for a long time.
Regardless, he's inside you, isn't he?
Considering he was singing a song that when we first met, when I was chasing him through the town.
Why am I not surprised?
Granted, I was 5 when that happened.
Yeah, I understand that, but still, I'm still gonna kick his butt.
Oh, that's how I'm feeling emotion. I'm not crying. I'm just like mentally, like in the back of my head crying.
Where's Lady Mary at? Is she okay?
She told me to help you while she and Vess and I think it's Alduin are going to go and find the other half of this cure.
Where is this taking place then?
Acerak left and took Alex.
We'll get him back eventually. But for now, let's go and see what Lady Mary's up to.
Meanwhile, in the real world, Oldwin is...
No, this is all happening in the real world.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
Ah.
Okay.
that's what I was trying to ask, but
On the
yeah.
opposite side of the
Old-
gantry
no,
bridge
Oldwin-
thing.
Oldwin is like very like dead, pretty much. Like he's like a blabbering mess at this point, having a small panic attack. Well, Dark Matter is just staring where Alex was, blankly, silent, staring.
Lady Mary hears this. You're Alduin, you're a blubbering mess.
Yeah, just
Alduin, my boy. Listen to me. Listen to someone who's way
looks
older
up.
than you.
way older.
Way older. There was nothing you could have done. Do you hear me? Calm down. Breathe. That's what I tell all of my friends in the oh, you don't need to know that. Breathe. Those dragon weasels have gotten a hold of your mind. Throw them out. There was nothing you could have done. We will get him back. Do you hear me?
Alden looks up at her.
Or down at her because she's sitting in a
Down.
chair.
Well, no, he's on the floor.
Okay, so up at her. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fair. Okay.
It's just like he just kind of mutters out some words and just like so much has happened.
I know.
Barely had time for a break.
We will get a break. But you need to listen. You need to help me now. Do you understand?
Yes, I guess that's right.
And she holds out her hand. Her hand is like old and crinkly, kind of like a grandmother's hand.
He tries to pick himself up without really using her hand, but he lightly puts his hand in her hand. It's like, but most of his weight, he picks himself up. Doesn't want to like hurt grandma here.
You can hear the rumbling of the lift slowly approaching.
Now, we need to find the other half of this cure. Can I count on you to help?
You do the old lady voice so perfectly, and I love it.
Good. I'll try. He says while Mage Hand gets
Now,
the
Mage Hand,
thunder loot back.
you be
Yeah?
nice to him now. He does not need any more of your bullying. Do you understand, young hand?
Yes, ma'am. I'll try. Says well, patting.
And you see her kind of shift in the chair and just kind of wiggle and just
Damn.
like she
Mezzanine
commands
level.
presence at this age. Like she needs to be obeyed.
Oh, Bake, she needs help. No
Well,
time.
She's not unnatural to the thing. Aya, my dear, and Leilana.
Mezzanine
Come on!
level. The doors slide open.
I don't know where
Left.
Aya and Leilana are. Like
They're
they're
on
near
the
the
opposite
entrance.
side of the gantry.
It's weird because while you all hear her, you didn't think that her voice, as frail as it is, could carry.
Well, the
But
glass walls are melted, so it's gonna carry.
And also, this entire
Yeah, but
this
it's-
entire
it's-
area is made of metal, so it's very echoey.
Yeah, it's very echoey. So even Leilana and Aya can hear this, and Aya goes,
Okay.
You know, she has become more unsufferable since she's turned 90.
I'm trying to figure out
Wait,
where
he's how old?
90 because of the virus thing.
I'm trying to figure out where Leilana and Aya are.
They're on the other side of the.
Well, how close are they to the entrance point where
They're
Alex was
about
taken?
like maybe 25, maybe 30 feet from the
I just-
entrance.
I would assume
Leilana,
everything's made of glass. You can see Dark Matter from here.
Leilana
Yeah.
stands up on her feet, grabs her staff.
Let's go over to Lady Mary and see if we can find the rest of this cure.
Dark Matter just emptily staring where Alex was.
Dark matter.
That's not his name.
Well, yeah, it's Flechette.
Says Aya.
What is his name?
Yeah, he doesn't know because
Yeah.
they were in that state.
Flechette.
Flechette.
Dark Matter is just staring emptily.
Flechette.
He looks towards you guys, and you realize this wasn't here before. You realize there is a small crack on the side of his mask.
Come along. We'll get Alex back. For now, our best bet is to help Lady Mary so she can put this heathen in his place.
At
You know, I
that
kinda
point, you
like-
hear the alarm bells in the facility going off, and you just hear, "Attention occupants, please proceed to evacuation points now. Structural integrity is compromised. Evacuate.
Let's go,
Evacuate."
further underground. Let's pile into the
Yeah.
elevator.
Let's go into the elevator.
As you
Come
hear
on.
creaking of like metal and groaning all around you.
Yeah, Aya will grab, or attempt to grab one of Flechette's hands,
Grab his arm.
grabbing his arm.
Pulling him into the lift.
Yeah, basically.
The doors close, and the lift begins its slow descent down deeper into the belly of the facility. And you just hear creaking and groaning, and the lights are flickering on the elevator slowly as it makes its slow descent to our short break. Anyone need to go to the bathroom and stuff like that?
I need to go grab me a quick snack. I'll be.
Okay.
Yep. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be taking a quick rest stop, and we'll be back in maybe about like 2 to 3 minutes. Stay tuned. ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking the short time for us to get ourselves recollected from that emotional whirlwind of plummeting darkness. And now we return to our lovely heroes, just about to arrive at the archives. Let's bring them back in. Alright.
Yay!
Potato.
Big elevator ride down to the pits.
So the elevator is, it's been maybe what feels like eternity as this elevator slowly makes its way down into the deep.
And every so
Catacombs.
often, every so often as this thing is going slowly, you hear Lady Mary go, "Gosh darn it! Make this thing go faster!" And somebody randomly with a
Ow!
"Make it go
Owie.
faster!"
We really don't want it to go any faster than this.
Oh,
And then
why
there's
not?
There's a creaking, and you hear. The lights go. Flicker out. And spending 4 threat to add a scene element,
Oh,
and you just hear. Like creaking of groaning of metal.
I feel
Straining.
like it's about to go faster.
Well, that's good. At least the emergency brakes are holding.
what has happened?
Is the lights out?
The lights are out, and you guys are in the black, pitch black.
All you can guys see is Flechette's eyes glowing in the dark.
That's what cast light and just have like a, I don't know, just
Alright.
on an
Are
object in
we
the hand.
stuck in an elevator?
I'm afraid so.
We need to get unstuck out of this elevator.
I may have a solution for that.
It doesn't involve blowing this thing up, does it?
No, it doesn't.
All right.
She's going to reach over and put her hand on the wall because she has dark vision, so she can see.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to roll intimidation on the elevator.
Not again! It
Alright.
reminds me of the good old days when you thread a boat.
Since she's done that, hasn't it?
It's been a while
Yeah.
since you threaded an abandoned object.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead and do that. I'm
Remember
gonna
threading a
spend-
boat?
I'm gonna spend 4 danger points to add +4 to my roll to counter.
Drive!
Go ahead. This is gonna be a
Descend.
contested roll.
That is a
Oh, God.
26.
Sorry.
26.
6. Your intimidation's off the charts, dude.
That is actually the elevator succeeds with a 29. You just hear it, and you all feel. I need everyone to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
Okay.
crap. Alright. Dexterity?
That's a 21 for me.
Whoa.
You manage to grab onto the railing or something in the area, vicinity of this cramped, tiny chamber.
I rolled a 12.
Oh, nice. I
You're
just
gonna
had-
unfortunately go flying towards the ceiling.
Okay, Aya had a, 10.
Oh,
Is it a
And-
dex
going
saving throw?
to also
Yeah,
fly
and-
towards the ceiling.
And, Lady Mary had a 16.
She manages to maintain her balance,
Oh,
even
wait a
though
minute,
they.
You said, saving throw, didn't you? No, it's still
Yep.
16.
Yeah, so she's managed to. She's like gripping onto the arms of her chair, trying not to have her body fly out of it. But the chair's like,
I don't like. I don't like.
shaking violently, and you just hear urgent beeping from it, like it can't stabilize.
Flechette managed to roll a 29, and Oldwin managed to roll a 21.
Right, those two managed to just hold on to each other and float, because. Yep. And
Okay, so the only person who failed their check was
or
poor
two
Aya.
people.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
and-
too.
And Fess. As you just hear
Okay.
shattering of glass above you, and the lights, the lights above you come crashing down into Lady Mary's lap, and you just hear sparking as the elevator comes to a grinding halt with a smash onto the ground floor.
Well, at least it's going faster!
Ah, shit. This is why I don't go on the Grind Tower of Terror. And that's all you hear her say, and none of you know what it means.
Well, at least we're down now.
The doors to the elevator slowly. You just hear the ding as the doors go. They try to open, but they're struggling because the elevator's been compressed by the impact.
Oh, jeez.
Could someone with strength open? I would do it, but me, Chair, not be able to.
Aya could possibly do it because she has a +2 to her bonus.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
You're just gonna do something.
She is going to try.
Okay.
She is going to try. Now, can she boost that by using essence points?
Yes. Anytime you feel like you want to use essence points for something, you can do that. As long as it makes sense.
Yeah.
And in this case, it makes sense. You're prying
Yeah,
open
yeah.
the door.
Mm-hmm.
I am trying to open the door.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me, Alright. So, how many essence points?
How many essence points do you want to spend for the number of points that you want to add to your roll?
Is it a 1-for-1 ratio?
It is a 2-for-1 ratio, and it scales up. So 2, 4, 6, 8.
Who do we appreciate? Sorry. I had to.
You're a GM. Just kidding.
Who do we appreciate?
Okay, see, I'm at a +1 for my strength, or +3 for my strength. If we do it that way.
Mhm.
So that turns it to a +5 for your
If
bonus,
I-
whether your +2 bonus.
No. I already added the +2 bonus.
Oh,
I had a +1. I added +2. That's a 3. If I use an essence point, that raises it up by 1.
Yes.
yeah. Every
And you
2
spend
essence points.
two essence
Point.
points.
So if I spend 4, that will raise it up by 2.
Correct.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend 4 to raise it up by 2.
Alright.
Which means I have a +5 in strength.
Yep.
Please roll good. Please roll good. Please roll good. No!
What did you roll?
Was it good?
Doesn't sound like it.
Was it good? No!
I'm feeling she rolled a nat 1.
I rolled that 1.
All right, I'm gonna take that as take that as 4 threat.
Threat.
Thank
Pain.
that. Well,
The pain.
danger point. Sorry. So I'll gladly take
the-
that danger.
The pain in the voice.
Oh, God.
No.
And you just hear the alarms going off around you, kind of like echoing throughout the chamber. It says, "Evacuate, evacuate, evacuate."
Aya tries to pull it open. She looks like she's really trying, and right at that moment, her back twinges.
Owie.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the back twinge, haven't you?
I have had enough of this. Lady Mary,
Wait,
hold
wait. Darkmire's gonna do something actually. But yeah. Unless
Let
you.
her know. Yeah. Aya kind of goes, ah! Oh, my back.
Darkmire just kind of like
Oh.
walks past you, pulls out. He still has this one sword out, and he just takes it and he pulls a 14 as he goes for a slice, or at least something to move the door.
He uses it to pry the door open. I'm not gonna have 14 is pretty good, so you manage to pry the door open. It falls off its hinges onto this platform below you, this floor, and
Ah,
all around you up ahead, you just see rows and rows and rows of blinking lights surrounding this chamber.
oh, ow.
Vessel
oh.
step out of the elevator, like carefully.
As you step out, the lights go lighting up the entire lower facility of this, and a little pedestal comes up on the floor in front of you, and a control panel goes, and a
Oh.
holographic voice says, Greetings, Dr. Vess. Welcome to the archives. How may I assist you today?
Yes, we need to do an information retrieval. There's some. I hate to admit I don't remember exactly what we're looking for in here, but I know it has to do with like the cure. The cure.
Please state the nature of your inquiry.
We are looking. I think it's genetic data, right? We're pulling up genetic data.
Genetic data. Searching. And you just see a couple lights on some of the these like slotted kind of like chambers like blink to red, indicating that they're highlighting those zones. I have found 6,741 objects in my inventory that relate to your query.
Yeah, we might have to narrow that down a little. Can you cross-reference it with a family member of mine named Grace?
One moment. The lights drop down to four of the these little like chambers. I have narrowed your search to 4 items.
Okay, can we see them?
You just see kind of like these drawers open, and inside you just see in one you see a couple vials of like fluid. In another you see a what looks like a is that a severed hand?
Oh jeez.
And in another you find it is empty, but there is an indentation resembling something that looks like an object that was just recently discovered. I'm not going to say what. And then in the 4th one, you just see a clock ticking down, and it says 5 minutes.
That's right there. Do you know what you're looking for?
I'll tell you when I figure that out. He's gonna reach into the one that seems empty, where the indentation is.
There's
Just
nothing, just kind of like this
Okay,
velvet
it is
indentation.
legitimately empty.
Yeah, it's legitimately empty.
Does Vess know what was in there?
No, actually.
Okay.
But you can definitely ask the computer.
Computer, can you identify the contents of this container?
Contents of drawer 1422. Unknown.
Okay. Well, right now it's air. What about the vials? What are the vials?
Vials contain samples of K19.
Oh, I think that's useful. Because that's the genetic code we're looking for, isn't it?
K19 is actually the virus. There's
that's the virus.
Samples, yeah.
We've got plenty of that. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
the
Ask about the countdown on the timer.
you know that I probably should have asked about that first. Computer, do you know what this clock is about?
The clock signifies the remaining time of the final stage of the progression of the person you are trying to save. No further data available.
Oh
The
dear.
clock now shows 4 minutes 30 seconds.
Okay. Well, process of elimination. Vess like kind of scrunches his face up and reaches up and grabs the handout.
You are now holding a severed hand.
Ooh. Okay. Well, this is genetic data to be sure.
The computer
Do we
says
know who-
patient 0.
Oh. Well, there we go.
I was just about to ask that question. Thank you, computer.
You are very welcome.
Can you send information about patient 0 to my terminal in my lab?
Information is unavailable and cannot be sent to lab. Connection
Oh.
severed.
Oh dear, I think you have a problem there, Vess.
As you hear like a rumble from above.
We probably don't need to worry about that. Let's just get this hand back to the lab.
The only way back to the lab is up the elevator, Vess.
It's
And
The
it's
true.
elevator,
Wait,
you see the
oh,
cables of the elevator just snapped and laying like strewn across the this area.
Olin goes, wait a minute.
I
Olin goes, wait, I think dark matter can make portals, right? Looks. Do you think I would be useful? Don't be in that mood right now. useful now.
I mean, I've got a way that might be able to get us up there, but it's like super imprecise.
Hey, just a
I
second
have-
there, boys. Hang on. Hang
Howdy.
on.
Mhm.
Flechette,
What is it? What do you
feel-
want?
Are you feeling guilty about Alex?
I could have done something.
You did do something. You made Alex a lot more dangerous than what Acerite believes that he is. You did something.
Darkbriar does think about it. Well, he's not gonna get out of that until I call him off.
Exactly. Even after the lovely paralysis that Acerite gave him.
And he's only gonna get more aggressive over time. More agitated.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to break him out of that before anybody else gets hurt. But don't sell yourself short. We will get him back.
Now, remember when I said Leilana was going to do something stupid, Kenny? That I had a
Tried-
prediction she
I
was
tried
going to do
to
something
convince-
stupid.
I was trying to convince the incorporeal person to make a portal so that we wouldn't have to do these things.
Well,
Well, no,
Kenny
Leilana,
knows
I told Kenny that I had a prediction that Leilana was going to do something stupid.
Oh,
I told him this days before this game even started.
Okay.
Bullshit thinks to himself, I guess I could help a bit more. I just don't feel like I'm as useful as my brother or sister was, he says.
You are very helpful. You've been always helpful.
Leilana
Sell
steps.
yourself short.
I guess. He says, well, he puts his hand out and reality cracks for a second as shards of reality fall inward, causing a portal to the lab.
Before we step through, Flechette,
Flash.
I don't do this very often.
What is it?
How tall is Flechette?
Flecknet is just above a normal child's height. He's taller than a dwarf and he's taller than small normal.
So
space
Leilana
beast.
has to bend down because she's as tall as an elf.
Yeah, he's
She
not the
bends
tallest.
down, puts her finger underneath the chin of the mask,
Mhm.
like angling your face to meet hers, and she kisses Flechette on the forehead.
What the? What? He kind of stumbles a little bit. Oh,
I kind of
While this is happening, the computer says, "Time is ticking."
Oh,
yeah.
yes. All right. I mean, I've got a way to maybe get us back up to the upper floor.
well, the portal's open.
remember, Flechette. Even though you may think you can't do anything, you're always doing something, regardless of what the situation is. Never, ever put yourself down. I know how that feels. All too well. Now, let's get this cure, and let's find Acerach and put his butt in a hole in the ground.
Okay, then. The Flechette says we're jumping through the portal.
Everyone, through, now.
Okay.
Before you go, what are you guys taking the items out of the containers before you leave, or no?
That's just taking the hand for sure.
The hand,
Oh, we
and
take-
what
oh.
about the vials?
You know, I guess it wouldn't hurt. We'll grab those.
Leilana's going to grab the vials, and she's going to grab the clock, too.
All right.
Clockers.
As you grab the
Just so-
clock,
just
it
so that
now
we have
shows
it,
2 minutes, 10 seconds.
Okay. All right.
As Flechette jumps through and waits for everyone else to go through. Okay, how long do you think it will take to make the cure?
I'll tell you once I've made it.
You're now back in the lab, but things are like lots of girders and stuff are like piled all over the place. Like part of the ceiling in the lab has collapsed in on itself.
No, the
so
structure
you're gonna
is
have to
still being
push
held up
things
by the dark hands.
Yes, but like you can see the hands are straining under the immense weight.
Okay, I
Just
don't think
out of the partially ruined lab, and he's like, oh, not again.
Fletcher looks and goes, I don't think Dark Matter is going to be too interested in holding it any longer unless I start asking him to hold it longer, but he's going to ask for things.
Well, then say pretty please. Fetz goes over to the lab console.
He goes, anyways, I think I know something that could maybe speed this up. Maybe.
The computer
Okay.
flickers to life. You see the hologram of the that woman that looks very similar to a person who Vess would know.
Ooh. I mean,
History.
okay.
I'll tell you what you see.
Also, one of the giant,
boat.
one of the giant hands, while holding something up, kind of taps the side of the object it's holding, like it's getting bored.
16 on history check.
All right, you definitely recognize that this is Grace.
Oh,
At least
okay.
the AI version of Grace, but you don't
Okay.
remember creating her. And she immediately speaks and says, "Vess, it's been a while, hasn't it?"
Yes. Yes, it has. He kind of smiles like in a kobold way.
Now, about
It's
this cure.
Oh,
and-
I've got a sample here. And he holds up the hand.
Yes, about that. I know what you did a couple years ago.
Sure. I mean, there's things to. We should probably worry about the cure first. Can you sequence the
Computer-
DNA?
I will. But we will talk about this later.
That's fair.
The screen flickers out with her face and it just shows the clock now at 1 minute. And you see a bar going across the screen. It's already 50% across, but like
Mhm.
you just see a kind of like a little like container open. It's just it's where the hand goes, but there's another container that's empty that's also lit up.
Okay, so he'll drop the hand in one, and then he'll
Sample
look around.
Identified.
He'll look around the
Patient
rest.
0.
There's another sample that we need. I'm not sure what it is. He'll go over to Lady Mary first because he suspects that maybe something Lady Mary has is going to, considering she's not patient 0, but she's like clearly one of the worst affected of this.
Yep.
And he'll look and see if she's got. Do I have any idea of like? Am I looking
The
for
shape
like
of it,
Yeah.
it is curved and has kind of little ridges on the edges of it, and it kind of bends like a bow.
Interesting. How big is it? Like.
It is about the size of your palm.
Okay, so he's looking for like a handheld device of some kind.
Maybe.
Maybe he'll start with that idea. So he starts like rifle, like without really asking. He starts rifling. Lady Mary's-
Lalana's going to look at this thing, and she is going to roll an investigation check on it real quick.
Okay.
Or should it? No, actually, I should do perception, shouldn't I?
Investigation, because you're trying to figure out what to do with it. Because you know what it is.
That is a 13.
Alright, I'm gonna message you. Directly, hold on.
Didn't you already message me?
Yeah, hold on. Yep. There you go. Do you see what I said?
Vess,
Yes.
I think I know what this is for.
Oh, good. We need whatever the sample is as soon as possible. Obviously.
20 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
Says the computer.
She opens her palm to reveal the wing.
Which was in Aya's other hand, but she
15 seconds remaining.
She puts it in the container and closes it.
And a little chamber opens in the center of this like table. Smoke rises as a small vial pops up with a syringe.
Okay, first things first. He goes to grab it and then goes over to Lady Mary to
10.
administer.
9, 8, 7,
Inject it
6,
faster.
5,
He injects her.
3.
Do I roll anything?
Why are you still counting down? We're injecting.
As the life and color returns almost in a flash of bright light to Lady Mary.
Well, it was fun being 90.
And the
she
computer
looked
just chirps
right
and
at
says,
Lady.
the computer chirps and says, "Cure synthesized. Patient cured."
She looked right at Leilana. It was nice using my natural intimidation to intimidate everybody around me. I don't know what you go through. And she stands up out of the chair.
The chair just goes,
Okay.
lowers a little bit to let her step out.
Is the cure that we've formulated, can it be used on the rest of the populace?
Additional samples are being synthesized.
Excellent. Perfect. Distribute the cure to as many medical centers as you can.
Computer
And that
acknowledges
looks,
that. Go ahead.
Leilana looks at Lady Mary,
I won't even charge this time.
and instead of saying anything, she grins this big sarcastic grin.
As you hear the sirens finally silence, and there's like a kind of like a door that's kind of like thrown off to the side in a pile next to one of your lab equipment objects, and the two guards are kind of lying there. They say, "What just happened?"
I do believe we have a archlish to take care of.
Yeah,
Shall
we should leave before Acerat comes back. And Vess is looking at the computer console when he says that and like backing away from it.
Fulchette looks at one of his hands, realizing, wait a minute. My sword. Wait. He goes, I threw my sword at him, and it stuck into him, but it... Okay, I need to explain something real quick.
Go ahead.
He goes to this entire explanation where how his swords work is if it hits something, they will evaporate instantly, but the residue of the magic of the sword will stay on something, and the sword is still there. They just don't. No one really notices it because it
Yep.
pretty much poofs. But he can teleport and pull the sword towards him. So he's like, "Wait a minute, the sword is still in him. So that means I can at least kind of figure out where he is, or I could bring it back to me. But I'm just stuck with one sword right now." He says while shrugging.
we might need to use that.
And he
That'll
doesn't
be
know
our,
because
that'll
it's
be
not
our
apparent.
ace in the hole. All right.
Yes.
We need to get Alex back.
Yes. I
Agreed?
don't know what to do to him, but we need to go.
All right.
As coming through one of the opening where that blaster kind of was blown in, you just see Drac and the other and Clink standing there, kind of like silhouettes, and they just come into focus and they say, "Well, that was interesting. What happened in here?" So they're looking around, seeing all the mess.
And Lady Mary looks at them and goes, apparently an Acerak, which we're going to go take care of.
Also, the dark hands start slowly, letting go and slowly going downwards.
As the structure kind of rumbles a little bit, and
Ooh.
Drac says, "Maybe we should." He gestures to the door over his
Anyone in
shoulder.
this building?
Not a bad idea.
Probably leave. Dark knocking board.
As Lady Mary sees this dark hand, slowly, dark hand, for a moment, can I talk to you?
The hand stops. Oh, you're the dark matter. Then Flechette goes.
Dark matter. That's
The Flechette goes. You want to talk to dark matter?
just for a little bit. You guys go.
What is that?
I will catch up. Trust me, I will catch up.
All right.
Love you, Mom.
Not before I do something important, Lady Mary.
Yeah.
She takes her staff and shoves it into your hands.
This was your staff, not mine.
Take it. Something tells me you're going to need it more than me in the next little bit.
Anyways,
Back later.
Who wants
She
to talk
just
to Dark
drops it in
Matter?
your hands and walks away.
Who wants to talk to Dark Matter?
Yes,
Lady-
I want
Lady
to
Mary.
talk
Lady Mary.
Lady
Okay.
Mary wants to talk to Dark Matter.
As you walked, the hand, basically that like the base of the hand, like sticking out of the ground, pretty much just opens like a doorway.
She walks through with the staff in hand, which I have to find those
Oh.
stats. Thank you.
I have the screenshot. I'll send it.
I know, but I have
to
the
you.
actual. I actually have the thing. I just have to remember which notebook I
Alright.
wrote it in. I'll look for it later.
As she walks in, the dark door like thing kind of like disappears, and you're just in this really
And
dark
do I
environment.
see? Do I actually see Dark Matter?
Well, yeah, you see his two clock eyes as he walks into the light, like there's a big spotlight, pretty much. Oh, who do we have here?
Dark Matter, I presume.
Yes, Dark Matter. It's lovely to meet you, he
It's
says while putting
lovely
his
to
hand
meet
out.
you. Thank you for helping us keep the structure, although it's still falling. We are leaving. You do not have to hold it up. I would like to request a different favor from you, if that is all
Favor.
possible. Yes, a favor.
What kind of favor would you like? He says while he leans forward a little bit, like resting his his elbows on pretty much what would be a table, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, I know the yeah. We are going to be fighting an entity named Asarak. Do you know of him?
Roll
I've heard
mystery.
passing comments of him.
Okay.
Well, he just took a person named Alex.
Oh, Alex. I think I know something about him. He says while he pulls a paper out of nowhere. Ah, yes. Yes, I know him. He had some interesting stuff about him. I definitely know that.
Yes. Well,
So-
we are on our way to fight him.
Fight him.
Fight Asarak to get Alex back. Can I count on some support from
Where can you repeat that?
we are on our way to fight him. Can we count on some support? I know you're very busy.
Support. Well, my services never come very free.
I know that. Do you think I came here not to negotiate?
Ah, yes, negotiate. Well, you speak to me like you know me, but I doubt you know very much.
I know enough.
Well,
from your friend here, and I point to
Flechette's right behind you.
yeah, probably hiding
Hi.
behind me.
Hi. Oh, Flechette. No need to hide. We're all friends here, he says, as slight muttering in the background can be heard, like echoing around. Now, Mhm.
As you're hearing the slight muttering and whatnot, in you, well, Dark Matter, Flechette, and Lady Mary can all hear this. This deep, almost evilish laughter can be heard all around you.
where did that
Oh,
come
God,
from?
that-
This is mine.
yeah, yep,
I'm so
yep, yep.
confused. Actual confusion. Mhm.
Not you two.
Who's that again? Who's
And
Show
that?
yourself.
From the darkness, you see these pearlescent, like almost blacker than black eyes pop out of nowhere.
Who's this, Mag? I didn't agree to this, Mag. I'm angry.
Of course, you didn't agree to this. This particular individual doesn't care you didn't agree to this.
Lady Mary knows exactly who this is.
So, making deals with someone else now, are we?
Making sure I have as many allies as I need. I shall need you too.
And are you going to introduce me to this wondrous individual?
This, and she points to Dark Matter, is Dark Matter.
Greetings
one.
to meet you. It's interesting that someone has gotten themselves into at least something in my control.
This is the God Ball.
Ah. I assume he has, well, some sort of darkness with him.
I command all realms of shadow.
I can assume why you showed up then.
Am I hearing correctly that Asarak attacked again?
Yes, and Moogie sacrificed himself again.
Oh, that little runt.
Except this time he put his essence in Aya. So be warned.
Great. Now I have to separate them again.
Anyway.
Not just yet.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. I'll wait till the battle's over before I do that. We need our little precious demigod back after all.
But as I said, Asarak is back. He has taken one of this group's own, a delightful person named Alex.
What?
Oh.
The whole world of shadow starts shaking violently.
Precisely.
Now, Dark Matter, you can feel your own personal realm shaking from anger.
Dark Matter keeps his cool, and like he just kind of outstretches his hand, but still his hand's like facing downwards, but he outstretches it as shadow hands form around, holding the realm together.
They took Alex from you.
What's Alex's such importance to this man? Anyways,
Alex is a wonderful little hound, and I wanted to pet him. And since Asarak has taken him from me, I'm
Can't
going
pet
to
him.
rip out his spine.
Fletcher's just like, I see.
Hey, do you see why I needed so many allies? This is the most fierce one that I can think of, and we made a deal the last time we spoke. I'm glad that you have deigned to help out.
Find Alex and call me when you have found him.
I need the pets. Anyways.
Yeah!
Yes, Mom? Sorry, Mom, I didn't notice he was gone. I'm sorry.
Your brother?
Yeah, my brother ran. Like, anyways, I think he's gone. Yes, he is. The hands let go of like the realm, so like the realm doesn't, because the realm's not shit quaking anymore.
One of these like
Anyways.
potted plants. Just,
So
like,
what kind of service would you
shakes.
care? Support, muscle, anything in Pacific? I can
Well,
give many services. All for
I know
of
you
course,
could
a
do
price.
many services. For right now, we will need support. We need to find him first. And
Support.
this one thinks that we might be able to.
Hmm.
Now,
I can deliver some support, he says. Well, you can kind of see some things shifting in the background. But of course, first Cat, I'm sorry, I scared you by accident. Don't hiss at me. I stumbled and my cat freaked out. That was funny. But anyways, he goes, well, so now, of course, speaking of payment for any services from me. For Shadow is simple. He was using my name, I asked him not to. But for you, what could you give me? He says, well, kind of like looming over you.
She smiles and thinks about it. Something tells me that you would like to see more that you already have seen. You wish for adventure.
Well, if you can't see from my attire, the best way to describe his attire is almost game show host, but not quite.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, watches for eyes and even a watch sticking out of his pocket.
I know the look because I've seen that many times in cartoons, yes.
Yep.
Keep
He
going.
goes, well, so my brother's in my room now. How did he get here? Anyways, he goes, well, if you can't tell, I am, well, let's say I'm a collector and a entertainer. Let's go to the collecting part. He says, well, he kind of gets behind you, like putting your like arm over your shoulder. Look at some of my collection, he says, as lights shift onto what some of the people in the background, and you see a variety of different people, all looking kind of murderous almost. You see a person in a sponge diaper suit holding a large spear. You see a hunter of some type holding some bear traps and a large gun.
So you would like me to find you some dangerous prey to fill
Well.
out your collection?
Well, I don't just have my collection to watch, I also have it to, well, the best way to describe is when he backs away, and as he backs away, a little like map appears around him, just like a 3D like environment, and you see little people running around, like normal human people running away from at least one of these killers you see around you. I like playing a little game, let's say cat and mouse. Well, I don't play it personally, but I find it entertaining. So he says while he like moves his hand and the map disappears.
So what do you want?
Well, I could take anything. A new killer to add to my collection, a new survivor to add to the fun, or something different. But I, of course, have stated the main two things I would take.
So a survivor or a...
Or a murderer. The only requirement for the murderer is they must die. I cannot take them to my realm if they're not dead, of course.
Of course. I'll see what I can do.
One thought comes to mind.
Yeah, except he's not going to be able to hold that particular person very long.
He's technically dead, though.
Oh, that's true.
Technically.
Technically, yes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And now I must go so that I can find...
I'll give you my services, and you give me my payment. I will see what I can do for my services.
And that's all I ask.
Mhm.
Thank you.
A
And she
door
turns
slowly
around-
opens behind you.
Yeah, she turns around and... Parasite, you notice that she has had very much poise throughout this entire conversation. Like she's done this before. Turns around and walks out with such confidence and
Flush It nervously walks with you.
yeah, just
I'm
kind
outta
of.
here.
She walks out. She still has the staff in her hand. She rejoins the group.
And then the door on the arm disappears, and the arm goes into the ground, never to be seen again.
Right.
As you guys are now standing outside the facility on the platform that is shaking violently as the ship is about ready to depart.
Let's get out of here.
And
Let's
Drac is kind of like motioning to you at the kind of like the elevator, like, come on, we don't have much time. The ship's
Open
engines are like
jump on.
revving and stuff like that.
Let's go.
Flushette gets on.
Run. Yeah, you see
They're all
Lady
running.
Mary just take off in a full-out run.
Damn. Flushette jumps on, everyone jumps on. But Flushette, like, as everyone gets on, looks at Lady Mary, it's like, how are you so calm?
As the platform is rising slowly. Into
She's
the
done
cargo
this before, Flechette.
Didn't catch you.
Sorry.
Trust me, Flechette. She's done this before. If you were in the God realm, you would have seen it would have been a lot more finessed.
Oh.
Speaking of the God Realm, Leilani, you'll enjoy this. Guess who decided to visit me?
Who?
Ball.
Oh my. No. What did he do?
He is going to help us.
Really?
Yes, apparently he wanted to pet Alex. And since he found out that Alex had been taken, rage wasn't the word for it.
And
As
Flushette
the
also
doors
goes, Dark Matter
open
may also help.
to the bridge, and Drac sits down in a chair and says, "We've just detected an unusual anomaly over the low orbit of Cobra 3. I suspect Acerac's up to his dirty tricks again."
Flechette puts his
Lord.
hand out and he like moves his hand until like hand gets real shadowy and goes that direction. That's where my sword is, and that's probably where he is.
The camera slowly kind of like pans to like a over the shoulder shot as you just look over through the viewer. She slowly tilts up and jumps into space right outside this. If you've ever seen DS Stein and the giant wormhole, this is a giant wormhole that should not be there. Crackling purple energy and stuff above the planet.
Oh,
As you slowly approach the event horizon. And that is where we're going to end today's game.
Yes.
That was a character moment for
Yeah.
Law that I wasn't expecting was going to show up, but it made sense in the moment.
Me neither.
I loved it though. It did make sense. I thought he was going to show up.
And
Trust
I was
me,
just
I thought he was
completely
going to show
confused.
up.
Like
That's
I
like
was,
I
I was sitting here thinking, Leilana had planned on doing something stupid. She did something stupid. She kissed Flechette on the forehead, something she's never done ever. As long as she's shown him. Now Bao shows up, and he's angry.
And the
Oh,
I
yeah.
love the
He's
premise of
angry.
why. I
He
love
is
the premise of why he's angry. He's like, I wanted to pet the big doggo.
Alright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me, PA Kenny USA, KRT Studios. This is Realms of Awakened Essence, Season 7, Episode 6. A Healing Touch. And let's go around the table and let our
Say
lovely
goodbye.
audience know who was part of this amazing adventure.
Gonna handle me first, I guess,
Yes,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
because I have the most characters in this situation. it-
Go.
It was me, Gearbox, controlling Oldwin, Alex, Mage Hand, Flechette, and Dark Matter.
I'm starting to think that too.
I'm
starting to get worried.
playing Dr. Vess.
I played Aya, Aya, Jokin, Lady Mary, both old and young
At the same time,
at the same time, and one Acerak. He is one nasty dude. You do not want to cross him.
you took my boy.
And now you, dear.
I am Magnarim. I play Mugi, who has temporarily departed us. Leilana Whitemarsh. I also, on occasion, play the role of Bao, the god of darkness and destruction.
He gave Dark Matter a big confuse, but he was okay with it.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on Realms of Awakened Essence. Stay tuned because we may be raiding into someone, so stick around for the credits. They're going to be specially designed for this episode.
Wow.
And I have to depart.
Alright. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
I'm out of here.
Let's see this.
Yeah, me too.
Charging forward. Ain't no holding me back, I'm charging forward now. Had me cornered. I bet you thought you had me, but don't you take one step closer. Started, I finish it, feel the wrath of my vengeance if you push me.